Nobody does it, Bennett. Yes, I've gone and said it. Movies and games, some things that are lame. Nobody does it, Bennett. Worst to the worst, right on. Is this the worst thing that I've ever seen? Worst to the worst, oh yeah. It feels so dirty that I'll never be clean. Worst of the worst.
Hello, and welcome to Nobody Does It Bennett, Worst of the Worst. I am your host, The Greg Bennett Experience, and tonight I'm joined with Matt as we review Jurassic Park III.
Good evening, everyone.
Matt, how are you this fine evening?
I am great, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. I see you got your Alan Grant hat on there as well.
Yep, definitely.
You got your Jurassic Park drink bottle.
Yep, from 1992.
And a photo before I saw you were in a Jurassic Park crop top that your fiancé actually owns.
Yep, if anyone wants a video of that, don't message me.
So you came ready and prepared for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, definitely. I woke up ready.
Are you ready to go back to Jurassic Park?
I am.
Should do it like Bill Paxton in Titanic. Are you ready to go back to Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Are you ready to go back
to Titanic? Old lady?
Old lady.
Tonight we will go through the film Jurassic Park III from 2001. We will run through the movie pointing out the good parts as well as the bad. We will also be acting out certain parts with their own unique voices. I wasn't going to do this as an MRU-style podcast, but as I took my notes, I realised I was taking way too many spoken dialogue scenes, so why not?
Why not?
Why not? We will give you our ratings at the end to see where it ends up on the worst of the worst charts, as well as giving our thoughts on how to improve the movie. Matt, what are your thoughts on Jurassic Park 3 and the Jurassic film series in general?
I love the whole series. I loved 1 and 2 a lot better than the third one. The introduction of new dinosaur was cool though. So that was a whole new hoo-hoo, rather than just the T-Rex chasing them around. Because in the third one you go, there's Velociraptors too, and then this guy turns up and you're like, oh, okay, that's different. And how fast it takes over.
In this movie though, there's a lot more dinosaur cameos than in previous films. They use the dinosaurs a lot more. Like there's only Spinosaurus and Raptors pretty much in this. You see like other dinosaurs like an Ankylosaurus or a Parasaur or a Brachiosaur, but they're not part of the story. They're almost the background.
Yeah, that's true. In the second one, you see heaps of them in cages too, and then when they're running away from the Velociraptors and she has to do the trapeze through that building, they actually use the Velociraptors a lot more. They think more, whereas this one, I think they think probably twice. Very smartly, but also kind of like, oh, come on, they're Velociraptors.
Yeah, because also in, obviously, Lost World, they had the Raptors, they had T-Rex, they also had Compies, they also had a Stegosaurus scene. Dinosaurs are used a lot more in those ones, while this one, they're almost as background.
And there's a dog in the second one.
There's a dog, it gets eaten by the T-Rex.
Yep.
Mom, there's a T-Rex in the backyard.
Cameo for about 10 seconds while it's barking at the T-Rex.
I told you not to give him that night lady. Now he's got all these nightmares, and all of a sudden the T-Rex's head pops up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just standing there with a dog house and a chain.
But we'll get to Lost World eventually. We've done Jurassic Park. We're doing Jurassic Park 3 now. Lost World, I'm sure, is going to be in our future somewhere. Are you looking forward to Jurassic Park World? Jurassic Park World. Remember that one? Jurassic Park World?
Jurassic Park World.
Are you looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion there, Matt?
I am, now that you've shown me the trailer. That looks awesome. I can't wait for that to come out. And the mixture between the old movies and the new movies, almost like, as you said, like No Way Home, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, having the old and new cast, like finally, this is the first time since Jurassic Park that M. Malcolm, Ellie Sattler, and Alan Grant are together on screen.
No Billy, though.
No Billy. Did save his hat, though.
He parachuted away.
Yeah, off Coast New Zealand.
Yeah, he would have too. And
yeah.
The updraft just slammed me up.
He's actually Nicolas Cage's brother in Face Off as well.
Is he?
Alessandro Nivola.
Alessandro.
I saw him recently in the prequel to Sopranos, the Many Saints of Newark. That was kind of an average film, but he was all right now. I was like, it's Billy from Jurassic Park 3. He's finally got another gig that I've seen him in.
He stole the eggs. I just really, really want to make sure they're okay. Opens the bag.
Rescued your hat.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 is a bit of a weird one for me, as it doesn't feel not nearly as epic as Jurassic Park or The Lost World, but it also doesn't feel like the absolute stinker that some have said it is. I'll go into more of it as we give our ratings, but yeah, it's a movie that doesn't really fit in the good or bad category, at least not in a traditional sense. Jurassic Park 3 is a 2001 American science fiction action film, and it is the third and final installment in the Jurassic Park series, as they go on to become the Jurassic World series after this. The movie is directed by Joe Johnston, who has directed some classic movies such as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, and one that is currently second on the MRU charts, Jumanji from 1995.
Oh, wow.
He also directed Captain America First Avenger, so Joe Johnston has actually got some decent films
Those are good films, actually.
to his resume. But part of the reasons why Jurassic Park 3 wasn't quite as good as the others, around 5 weeks before the start of filming, Johnston and Spielberg rejected the second draft of the script in favour of a simpler story idea suggested by David Koepp, the screenwriter of the previous 2 Jurassic Park films.
See, that sucks.
Yeah,
Because it only went for, 95 minutes?
it did, and a final draft of the script was never completed during production, and Johnston considered quitting on the project on a few occasions. So they had no script to work with, which meant the animatronics that they were using in building, they were building it for a different script. So they actually had to go and make it work. I think that's why a lot of the times you don't see a lot of the brachiosaurs or
That's
the
what I was thinking. A
ankylosaurus
lot of
and
the
stuff.
time, yeah, to me, it seemed very... The animatronics and the Spinosaurus at the start with the plane was very...
Fidgety and janky.
Yeah, it was quite bad. And then when they switched to the 3D animation of it, it was like, oh my God.
It doesn't have that polish that the first 2 have, but yeah, it also has just very few dinosaurs that actually interact with the cast. Most of them are just in the background. Jurassic Park 3 takes place on the same island as the previous movie, The Lost World Jurassic Park. So it takes place in Isla Sorna. Actually, it gets brought up in the movie as well, that he's on the wrong island. Well, Alan has never been to this island.
Yeah, I've never been to this island.
There's more than one island with dinosaurs?
What do you mean?
Right, Matt, shall we look at the box office comparisons and Rotten Tomato scores?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's just, we ain't driving. I haven't adjusted the box office for inflation as the 3 Jurassic Park movies were made less than 10 years apart, so roughly you get an idea of what they were, just from not having to go to inflation. Jurassic Park from 1993, estimated budget was $63 million US dollars. The estimated box office was $1.3 billion US dollars. This is 1993. $1.3 billion in 1993. It was the highest earning movie for quite a while. Well, actually, I say quite a while, but about 3 or 4 years until Titanic came along.
Far out. Yeah, it did too.
Its Rotten Tomatoes score is 92% from critics, 91% from audiences, and a perfect 50 stars on the NDIB Movie Review Universe list.
Oh my God, perfect.
There you go. Perfect 50 stars we gave it. Critics only thought it was 92% good, and audience only gave it 91. So we went the extra mile.
It was still one of the best.
Well, it is.
It
It's
is,
a
yeah.
classic. It's a masterpiece. Like, we couldn't fault it from the categories we had because there was no way to fault it.
The whole sitting on the toilet, every single scene. Yeah. Oh, when she grabs the hand. That's my favorite. Oh, thank God, the sigh of relief and then the instant dreaded fear.
Oh, Arnold. Oh, his arm. Yeah, okay. The Lost World Jurassic Park came out in 1997.
Was that 97?
97. So Jurassic Park had an estimated budget of $63 US dollars. $63, that's right. That's all.
Only $63.
63 million US dollars. And the Lost World Jurassic Park had 73 million US dollars. So it had $10 million more in the budget. What do you think it did in the box office?
First one did, what did you say?
1.03 billion.
billion.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, second one. It goes to, it goes to the city. Keeps heaps more army thing.
Has the whole caravan scene when they're hanging off the cliff.
Yeah, that's that would, I'd say about the same.
Its estimated box office was 618.6 million. It did about half of what Jurassic Park did.
Damn, that budget for that movie too must have been insane.
73 million is $10 million more than Jurassic Park.
That must have been all the cables for that scene literally just hanging off the cliff where it goes past them and drops into the ocean. And it's just, oh wow.
It was still directed by Steven Spielberg as well. Spielberg directed Lost World as well as Jurassic Park.
Yeah, they would have had to make all those cars for it too. They would have actually had to make them. Yeah, true, all that. Far out.
The Rotten Tomato scores for Lost World Jurassic Park actually shocked me. Because I'm a big fan of Lost World. I think it's
Lost World's
underrated.
good.
I think it's underrated, and looking at this, I can see that people do think negatively of it, really. The critics score gave it 53%, and the audience gave it 51%.
Oh, wow, just over half, just under.
I was thinking maybe it'd be in the 70s.
Wouldn't be half.
No, I didn't think it was Lost World Jurassic Park. I still think it's got some amazing scenes.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, but audience only gave it 53. Critics gave it 53, audience 51.
T-Rex coming through the trees when they're up in the tower. No, I want to go higher. I want to go higher.
Obviously, the sequel's trending in a downward spiral, so you can see why after Jurassic Park 3, they don't make another movie for like 14 years.
Yeah, they didn't, did they? They rethought it all.
Because now we get to Jurassic Park 3 in 2001. Its estimated budget was $93 million. So you had 63 in Jurassic Park, 1993, 73 in Lost World, and now they've got 93 million.
Yeah, so another 20 mil.
I think a lot of that would have been because they would have had to make or reshoot stuff because the script wasn't made. So they would have had to redo the script, redo everything, probably the trailers.
Pay all the actors for waiting.
Yeah, so probably would have only had about 60 or 70 million themselves if they hadn't had to redo everything. But this made it 93 million. The estimated box office for Jurassic Park 3 was 368.8 million. So it's about half of what Lost World did, which was about half of what Jurassic Park did. Everything is trending in a very, very downward spiral, so I can see why there's like, maybe we'll hold off in the Jurassic Park series or Jurassic World series for a while.
Maybe stop spending so much money.
The Rotten Tomato scores, though, critics gave it 48%, which is only 3% lower than Lost World, and audiences gave it 36%. 36%. At the end, I'll give my thoughts about Jurassic Park 3, but I was surprised that it was that low.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah, so going to comparisons, yeah, Jurassic Park was a huge hit, obviously. $1.03 billion.
Yeah, that's ridiculous for 93, did you say?
Yeah. Lost World Jurassic Park, 618.6 million, and Jurassic Park 3 only did 368.8 million. So, there we go. If you like what you hear and have some recommendations for movies, or perhaps you have some thoughts on Jurassic Park 3, why not contact us? You can by going to our Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page, or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com, or go to our website, nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. That's a Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast outlets. You can also find us now on YouTube. Matt, you ready to land this plane and explore this movie?
Let's do it. Cooper running to the plane.
I met them through the church. Ladies and gentlemen, Jurassic Park 3 from 2001.
Nobody Does It Bennett. Movie reviews and pitches.
Movie begins with the Universal logo. The logo is disturbed by an impact tremor, like the water cup in the first Jurassic Park. Do you understand when it's going Universal? That's a cool effect.
Yeah, I loved that when they see the cup, though.
Yeah. The same is done with the Emblem Entertainment logo. The same tremor goes through that logo. Subtle, but it's good. Jurassic Park 3 title appears, with claw marks making the Roman numeral 3 sign, tearing a hole through the title. It's a cool way to start like Jurassic Park, then but it is very 2000s. Cut to a shot of the island of Isla Sorna, 207 miles west of Costa Rica. It's restricted, because it came out in big capitals.
Yeah, restricted.
Restricted area.
That's okay. He knows the Costa Rican government.
They all do. We're all friends.
All friends.
An airplane is flying over the island. A man on the boat is watching the plane fly past with his binoculars. The boat hurries through the water, trying to avoid the plane, as it's the Costa Rican government guarding the area. The boat prepares a man and a child with a harness line. Both the man and child are wearing life jackets. The man wants the boat to get them as close as they can to the island. He'll pay extra if they can.
Hey, I'm gonna get you close, my friend, but not too close, eh? You don't want to be eaten.
The boat heads towards the island of Isla Sorna. The man and the child pull the release cord and within seconds are gliding through the air, still attached to the boat by a cable. The parachute has the words Dinosaur on it. Seems to be some type of dinosaur adventure company that takes tourists to the islands behind the Costa Rican government's back.
Literally in this little one-motored boat.
Yeah.
Sweet ass.
It's like, yeah, that's fine.
$5,000.
But obviously they didn't know the risks, did they? The man and child are having a great time gliding through the air. The man has a video camera with him that's looking through trying to find some dinosaurs. There is a bunch of random fog in the water that the boat is heading straight for. The water also starts to get real choppy, sending the boat crashing over bigger and bigger waves. The boat goes through the fog. The man and child can no longer see the boat or the men on board. Suddenly, there is a big tug on the cable attached to the 2 people gliding. Then there's another tug, and then another. The boat eventually emerges from the fog. The gliders are horrified to see there is no longer anyone on board the boat.
There's blood everywhere.
And the roof canopy has been shredded. Was there blood? I didn't see the blood. I saw the tearing of the roof canopy and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's bits of blood just on the deck.
Okay, so they've already been taken.
Already been eaten, and then the boat's just like...
Question is, what took it?
That's what I'm thinking.
There's no Mosasaurus yet in Jurassic World.
Had to be something in the fog. Wouldn't have been compies, they can't swim.
I think it's Spino, because he can swim with his fin.
Oh, true, of course you can. Probably just sitting there waiting in the fog. It wasn't stupid either, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw the big claw marks. It looks like something big. So my guess is the Spino, but they never actually tell you.
No, that's true.
Right. So it's been shredded. Not shredded like in the gym, though. Hasn't got a six-pack, that boat.
No, it's not that big.
Doesn't even lift, bruh.
It can still float.
The boat is heading straight for some rocks. The kid panics as the man tries to release them from the cable. After some tense moments and a fair amount of yelling, the man frees them and they start gliding towards the island. The boat crashes, but it doesn't blow up in a fiery blaze. What? This isn't a 90s action film,
It
then.
just goes dump.
It's waiting for it to blow up from 3 different angles.
That's what I thought. And then the rope till it would like slowly burn up. He's like, and then they're almost about to get burnt, and then he cuts it, and then they
Makes me think that if they were still attached, they wouldn't have died. This would have been fine.
might have been, yeah. Yeah, just boom. Oh, sweet as, we'll just pull ourselves into the boat.
The effects, for the most part, look good in this opening sequence, with 1 or 2 noticeable green screen issues. Like, there's a couple of times when the glider's like, yeah, that's on the
Yeah, you
screen.
can just see him going, yeah,
No wind up here.
nah, not yet. With his camera.
We'll go into it later on, but they really do Ben bad here. Like, he seems like a nice guy, but as soon as he dies, Amanda's like,
Yeah, literally.
so I don't care about him. It was more about Eric being alone now.
Where's my son?
Yet when Paul later on is in danger, she's like absolutely beyond herself.
Yeah, true.
Poor Ben. Cuts to a kid playing with toy dinosaurs. Alan is trying to teach Ellie's son, Charlie, about dinosaurs. Charlie is having a Triceratops fight a Brachiosaurus. But Alan mentions how those 2 dinosaurs wouldn't fight, as they are both herbivores.
Yep. Good on you, Alan.
Yep, teach him the right way, Alan. That's what I like. Education doesn't have to start when you're like 5 or 6. It can start earlier, as long as you're willing to. But the 2 raptor toys Alan has, well, they would fight each other. Ellie says to Alan that Charlie is 3. Wait till he's 5. So, I don't know. I can teach him earlier. Ellie talks to her assistant. Ellie is writing a book, and she's not going to lose that Jack Horner quote, even though her editor wants her to. Jack Horner was the specialist advisor for the 3 Jurassic Park films. I think he was one of the dinosaur experts that was one of the early adopters of the bird theory.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, with the feathers, that's right.
Just that how dinosaurs
They evolved
became
from-
birds.
Yeah, that's right.
He was one of the ones that didn't think they were lizards. Ellie's husband, Mark, comes home. Why this movie has Alan and Ellie no longer as a couple is beyond me.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me. I was just like, really? After everything they've been through, and they're being like, yeah, and then she's with this random guy.
Yeah, he seems nice.
It's just because he's the dinosaur man.
It's because Alan and Ellie have such great chemistry in the first movie. You're like, those 2 are made to be together. And then they're not in this. It's just kind of weird and awkward.
Yeah, it was. It was like, oh, yeah, because Ellen's obviously still likes her, and she's just like, yeah, me too, but obviously not. Married to someone, have a kid.
Even stranger that after their relationship, they remained good friends. Mark meets Ellen. Okay, I guess Ellen and Ellie weren't that close of friends because they just meeting her husband for the first time, and their kid's like 3. Charlie calls Ellen the dinosaur man. I love Alan Grant. He's such a down-to-earth and just likable character. He's probably my favourite, I think, in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it is good. Because he teaches as well along the way.
He does, and he just has a way about him that makes you want to follow him. He doesn't say, follow me. He's like, just got that presence with his look and just the way he kind of interacts with people.
Yeah, and believe what he says.
Yeah, not just because Sam Neill's a New Zealander as well. Like, I started to think to myself, do I like him the most because he's just a New Zealander? But I don't think so. I think Jeff Goldblum is great in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I love Jeff Goldblum.
I think he's got some great lines, but I thought Alan Grant is the best character. He's the one that you'd want to kind of like be in that environment with.
Yeah, overall, I don't think Ian Malcolm could have got the kid out of the tree, or...
He would have tried, like, obviously in the Lost World he does that a bit more. But Alan Grant just seems like the kind of like, almost a classic comic kind of adventure character that you want to save you. Almost an Indiana Jones kind of character.
He is almost, actually. He's with his hat, too.
Yeah, very similar.
What if he's afraid of snakes?
Who isn't?
Yeah, true.
Escape from LA. Pliskin.
Pliskin.
Alan tries to get Jack the parrot to say his name. Alan must have known the parrot in the past, but I don't think there was a parrot in Jurassic Park. It's like, are we supposed to remember him? I don't remember him.
It's like, oh, it's like, yeah, no. Say, Alan. It's the graham cracker. It's like, it doesn't want to know you.
You used to know my name.
Maybe they lived together and it was his bird.
Maybe he was dating the parrot before Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah, they were together living in Ellie's house and she just had enough of it. She kicked Alan out and told him, stop being the bird man, be the dinosaur man.
And that's the origin
Yeah,
of the
that's
dinosaur.
actually Alan's kid.
I was actually wondering about that. It's like, is it definitely his kid? Is it actually Alan's? But it is actually Mark's. Mark works with the State Department, international relations, mostly treaty law and things like that. I think he's brought into this so he can have the ending, because I think Ellie goes to him and he's the one that gets the resources to actually get the military to the island.
Oh, true. Yeah, it would have been too.
Otherwise, you're like, how does someone who once was on an island that wrote a book about dinosaurs got the military to
Yeah,
come?
she's just called the UN.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. There's like, yeah.
Like, that's the reason.
Pulling up out of the water. Like, how far did they drive?
I was like, how close were they? Yeah.
Yeah, they must have just been stationed out of Costa. It could have been the Costa Rican government.
It could have been, but they looked very American.
Yeah, it was very American the way they all were just like, oh.
Take this, eat lead from America, Raptor. I was like, Mark, your job sounds so boring. It's not Mark's fault. He seems like a nice guy, but leave Mark. You're stopping Ellie and Ellen from being together. So get out of there, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Always comes back to the room. Mark goes to tend to the baby while Ellen and Ellie catch up. Ellen is working on raptors mostly. Ellie sarcastically says, my favourite. Probably referring to her fun time in Jurassic Park being chased through the power grid room. Dr. Arnold.
That was gold. I loved that bit.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. Do you remember the sounds they made?
I try not to.
Nice scene here. Shows you there's some post-traumatic stress from Jurassic Park, which of course is very understandable. Ellen says how they weren't even close to understanding how intelligent and capable raptors were. Ellen mentions they have made scans of what he believes to be a very sophisticated resonating chamber. So Ellie and Ellen were right. The raptors could vocalize.
Chris Pratt must be the son that's in Jurassic Park 3
He's Charlie.
that grows up to be the raptor trainer. Charlie.
He bit my finger. So Ellie and Ellen were right. The raptors could vocalize.
They could talk to each other?
To a degree we never imagined. Ellie, they were smart. They were smarter than dolphins or whales. They were smarter than primates. The smile and glee on Ellen's face is obvious, almost forgetting that these creatures almost killed him.
He's like kind of like loves talking about them.
So good.
Yeah.
Cut to Ellen leaving in his car. If Ellen ever needs help, just to ask, as Ellen sometimes forgets to ask. Set up for later on.
You're still the best. I mean that.
The last of my breed. Ellen drives off. I like the use of the original Jurassic Park theme in this film. Don Davis does a nice job of John Williams' original theme. So it's not John Williams, but it's a lot of his themes. Brings it up quite a lot in different ways.
The music was actually quite nice in this. It's nice the whole way through in all of them actually. Dun, 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 dun. It's like, oh, dun, 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 dun.
Well, home, if you told me that John Williams did the score, I would have gone, oh yeah. So he did a good job of kind of a John Williams-esque kind of theme. Cut to Ellen giving a lecture to an auditorium. Ellen talks about how smart raptors were, and if it weren't for the cataclysmic events that took them, it would be entirely possible that raptors, rather than humans, would have become the dominant species on this planet. Once Ellen has finished, the moderator opens up the floor to questions. Dozens of hands go up in the air. Fine. Does anyone have a question that does not relate to Jurassic Park? Some of the many hands go down. Or the incident in San Diego, which I did not witness. Many more hands go down.
Really 90s, so no one had phones back then, so it wouldn't be all over the internet yet.
No Google yet. Like the dinosaurs, we didn't have phones. By this point, they know there's dinosaurs. That's why everyone does know that their islands exist, but they just can't go to them.
And he doesn't want. he's just like, no, the bones are more important.
What Alan says it is they used some dinosaur DNA at Jurassic Park, but they used a lot of frog and other animals, so they're not actually
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
they created just monsters.
They're monsters. Yeah, he doesn't see them as the actual dinosaurs. Dinosaurs died, like he says in later on, we'll go in here, he says that they died millions of years ago. A student asked Ellen that isn't his theories about raptors kind of moot, as once the UN and Costa Rica decide to handle that second island, Scientists will just go in and have a look for themselves. The student asking the question looks like an arrogant prick.
He does.
I know everything because I read it in the newspaper.
Yeah, I read a book from Ian Malcolm.
Dinosaurs lived 65 million years ago. What is left of them is fossilized in the rocks. And it is in the rock that real scientists make discoveries. Now, what John Hammond and InGen did at Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monsters. Nothing more, nothing less. Another student asked Ellen that he's saying he wouldn't want to go back to Isla Sorna and study them if he had the chance. No force on earth or heaven could get me back on that island. Like, he smiles at that too.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Because it makes you wonder how much do they actually know about what happened in Jurassic Park. Because she's like, you wouldn't go back, you're not curious. But if you watch Jurassic Park like we did, it's like, he almost died multiple times. Going back is almost a death sentence. Well,
Face to face with all of them.
no, I wouldn't go study and risk my life thing, probably get killed. I cannot wait to see Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, and Ellie Sattler together once again in Jurassic World Dominion. I've been missing that for years. Ever since like Lost World Jurassic Park was always like one I enjoyed at the movies, but I was disappointed when I first saw it because it didn't have Alan, it didn't have Ellie, it only had Malcolm. I'm like, yeah, Malcolm's great, and the story itself I've learned to appreciate over the years and realised that it's actually probably better than what I could ever hope for if they just made a bland sequel with all of them back in it.
Yeah, you're not
getting
wrong
trapped
there.
on an island again. But at the time, that's what I was wanting. I was like, man, I just want to see them back together again. So when it had Ian Malcolm come back for Fallen Kingdom in the courtroom, I was like, it's close, but not quite there. But now Dominion has them all. And it has Chris Pratt's character coming in with as well. I just want to see them all together.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
When people go, this is giving the fans, this is fan service. Fan service is not a bad thing if it's done right.
Yeah, nah, you're not wrong either.
It's the reason why fans want to see it, because it'll be amazing. Life will find a way. Cut to some people testing weapons on an old plane. They spray paint a face on it first to give it some personality. You can hear the beeping ringtone of a satellite phone, a ringtone that is to become a big part of the story later. I think some people actually have it now as their phone ringtone.
Kirby, Pensacola, and Westgate.
Paul Kirby rings Udesky. Seems like they have some sort of business arrangement. Seems like these men are preparing for some type of battle, as they have high-grade military weaponry, like massive rifle.
Yeah, big 50 caliber M80 with whatever those explosive rounds are.
Straight out of a video game.
Yep.
Completely blow up the plane, that's for sure.
I don't know why they didn't just pop one off at the Spinosaurus. I heard a couple of shots, but it was from a rifle, not that. Yeah.
And they never used that gun, ever, on the island.
You know I can't stop.
Nothing to worry about, sir. It's going to be a walk in the park.
Cut to Fort Peak Lake, Montana. Not quite as cool as Snakewater, Montana, the dig site location in the first Jurassic Park. It was called Snakewater, and we're talking about how badass that was.
Snakewater, that's right.
But this one is just called Fort Peak Lake.
Yeah, cool.
Not as cool.
Nah, not at all.
Billy is, quotation marks here, helping a fellow female companion figure out which is rock and which is fossil's bone. The up top view shot here is cool. As you can see, they have dug up a complete raptor skeleton. So I do like when she's talking and he's talking, you can like just have an overview top like of them and you see the whole skeleton.
Oh, you do too, yeah. I like that.
And the skeletons are almost circular in the way it is, almost like a bird again. Like the raptor looks like a bird.
Yeah, curved up.
Looks awesome. The rock is rough, while the fossilized bone is smooth. He's like, rough? Smooth.
Yeah, rough, smooth.
Ellen shows up in a pickup truck, and Billy completely blows the girl off to go and say, oh my god, Ellen's here.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm out of here, because Alan Grant's here.
Probably just stands all over the fossil.
Billy goes to meet up with Ellen and help him with his bags. Straight away, you can tell that Billy has great admiration and respect for Ellen. So you see that right through the movie. He just wants to impress Ellen. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make sure that Ellen can continue his work, that he can be there with him and do whatever he can to help him.
Yeah, and that's why he's not in Dominion.
But he's not dead, though. Maybe he'll make a cameo. Who knows?
Could do, actually. You could parasail down.
Ellen might ring him on the phone. Billy!
Yeah, Billy, we need you to use that parasail. We're in New Zealand.
They could be hiding him for the big reveal.
Could actually.
Also, the girl that does the gymnastics in Lost World, Ian Malcolm's daughter, maybe she'll make an appearance.
Could do.
Who knows? Yeah.
She owns raptors.
Hopefully that whiny little kid from Jurassic World won't make an appearance, though.
Yeah, no.
He was whiny. He was better in Iron Man 3 when he was talking to Tony Stark.
Was he in Iron Man 3?
He was the kid that Tony Stark meets up to in that barn, and he goes, "My father went for cigarettes and never came back." And then Tony Stark goes, "Dad's leave, get over it."
Yeah, Dad's leave, get over it.
I was like,
He's so
"Oh."
brutal.
Ellen tells Billy that they're going to have to pack up in 4 weeks. Billy says, actually, it's going to be 3 weeks, as he had to rent some equipment. Billy shows Ellen the future of computer technology, basically a 3D model printer. Impressive for 2001, though. Billy enters in the scan data from the raptor skull. The computer breaks it down into thousands of slices. Then the printer sculpts it, one layer at a time. Billy pulls out a sculpture of the resonating chamber of a velociraptor. Close though to that, so there's that shriek. Billy blows into the sculpture and it makes a terrifying raptor-sounding shriek. Wow. This is brilliant, Billy. Really it is. Sad to say, it's just a little bit late. A man then enters the tent, wanting to talk to Dr. Grant. Paul Kirby, Kirby Enterprises. Mr. Kirby greets Billy like they have already met before. And it's that when he goes in the tent, he talks to Alan, he gives a nod to Billy like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I've seen you before."
we've got this arrangement.
Kirby wants to have dinner with Alan. He promises it will be worth his while. Alan doesn't want to though, as he's tired and he just got back from travelling. I understand, Alan. You don't want to go out again. Get dressed up. I have to wear a different hat. It's all too much.
You already talked to a kid today.
Too much. Billy says how they would both love to have dinner with Kirby and his wife. Billy seems to be really pushing Alan into this. It's very pushy, Billy.
And Alan's face is like, here we go.
He's like, it doesn't seem right. I don't think it's what Alan's kind of face is. Cut to a local country bar. Alan and Billy meet up with Paul and his wife Amanda. Alan orders an ice pick catfish. Billy asks for one too. What is an ice pick catfish, you ask there, Matt?
Yeah, what is that?
I've actually got ingredients here. It is 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half an ounce of fresh lemon juice, and 1 cup of iced tea. Mix the vodka, sugar, and lemon juice into a tall glass. Add ice cubes, fill glass of iced tea, and stir. And then you have yourself an ice pick catfish.
An ice pick catfish.
Yeah. I had to look it up as soon as I ordered it. I was like, what is the ingredients to this?
That's a lot of vodka.
There you go. So anyone who's out there who drinks ice pick catfishes, there you go. You got your fame in Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Some people might be asking for that now after this podcast. I might go into a bar and go, "Do you have an ice pick catfish?" And I go, "We don't know what that is." And listen to the podcast, and then I'll give you the ingredients.
Listen to me.
Listen to me now.
This is the drink you're making.
Paul talks about how he and Amanda love the outdoors and love to go on adventure trips. They've apparently been to the Nile and K too. They even have 2 seats reserved on the first commercial flight to the moon. When she says that, I like looking at William H. Macy's or Paul Kirby's look on his face, because it's kind of like, I was looking to see if he was annoyed that she started to say things like, "We got tickets to the moon," as it's kind of like making our story seem less legit.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Don't get ahead of yourself. For their wedding anniversary this year, they have decided that they want to fly over Isla Sorna and want Alan to be their guide. They won't be landing, just a flyover.
Just a flyover.
Paul assures Alan and Billy that they have been granted clearance by the Costa Rican government.
Yep, definitely. We find out how legit that is. It's great.
Yep.
Click.
Alan declines. He tells Paul that they wouldn't be able to fly low enough to see anything of real interest. Alan finds it hard to believe that they could have low flying clearance. Paul pulls out a checkbook.
I can write all kinds of numbers on this check, Dr. Grant. Tell me, what's it gonna take? That sounded creepy. I can write all kinds of numbers on this check, Dr. Grant.
That was like Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that again. I can write all kinds of numbers on this check, Dr. Grant. Tell me, what's it gonna take?
That's good. It's more hopeful, like William H. Macy's character kind of is. He's very kind of hopeful.
Not like him in Shameless, where he's just alcoholic of 5 kids and cutting his fingers off for health insurance.
No, that's 10 years later. That's Jurassic Park 4 or 5. The ones they didn't make.
He's drunk himself because they never actually found Eric in this universe.
They found what was left, the bits that they didn't want.
Yeah, he was the one stuck in the tree, and it was the friend that they found, and she's just like, oh. And they just left him there.
I wonder how much Alan asked for. Doesn't actually show you. In 2001, Wonder how much it would have taken for Alan to go to Jurassic Park. I reckon he would have said something like 3 million, 4 million.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Enough to keep him going for a number of years because...
And all the sites that he had.
Yeah, because he wouldn't go for anything less than that, surely.
Yeah, not as the sauna.
No.
Especially when you knew there's something else going on.
Cut to a plane flying in the sky with a version of the Jurassic Park theme playing. It's kind of like almost the start of the meh, 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 but it's not quite because they have to get to the island first. Alan, Billy, and the Kirby's and a few others are on the plane. Alan says that even with what he pays Billy, he could afford to get a better bag.
It's my lucky strap. Saved me while I was hang gliding off some cliffs in New Zealand.
I'm guessing they put that in there for Sam Neill.
This strap alone saved my life. Got hooked on a rock as I was falling.
Billy thanks Alan for bringing him along. Alan says how he wanted him there as he got him into this and didn't want to be stuck alone with the Kirby's, which is fair.
Yeah.
You really did get me into this, mate. Like, so much they do wrong in this movie. I've put at the end at what I think about them.
They act like the rich people they portray.
Yeah.
Just idiots. Like, no. Yeah.
Clueless and not really thinking about other people in this but
No,
themselves.
not at all, yeah.
Very selfish.
And here we are.
Alan says not to get too excited. Chances are they won't even see a thing. Wake me up when we get there. Billy asks one of the mercenaries how he knew the Kirby's. Through their church, apparently.
Big Steven Seagal looking bodyguard.
Pretty sure that guy was in the S.H.I.E.L.D. He played like a former cop that gets like found out, so he gets busted and goes to jail for a while and becomes like a pitiful shell of a man.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
But in this, he's Cooper for about 5 minutes.
Stop! It's like, oh my god, you know what can't stop the... It's obviously, get out of the way, Cooper. No, it just ends that on purpose.
Even if they tried to stop, they wouldn't slow down in time to actually save him. They would run him over.
Yeah. Unless he thought God was going to save them because he's from the church. And then he would have thought maybe they will stop for me.
But no.
No.
Nope, he got gobbled up. Cut to the most infamous scene in this movie. I don't hate it, as it is a dream sequence. Alan wakes up to find himself alone on a plane. He turns to find a raptor next to him. The raptor talks to him.
Alan!
It does get a lot of like jokes made about the scene.
Yeah, it's good. Alan! Yeah,
It's become a thing, like I know Honest Trailers, they made a thing out of it after they did the Jurassic Park 3 Honest Trailer to like put a picture of the Alan raptor like just somewhere in their trailers. But yeah, this is a dream sequence, so it's not like people take that part and go, this is how ridiculous Jurassic Park 3 got. Look, they have talking raptors.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's a dream. He's having a dream, bit of PTSD.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly.
He's
And
like, oh god, flying over the dinosaur island, go to sleep, and then just, whew.
it's like, you haven't had a talking raptor in your dream? Jeez, your dream must suck.
Yeah, boring.
My one had laser eyes too. Then it cuts to Alan being woken up by Billy. They have almost arrived over Isla Sorna. Alan is relieved that the talking raptor was just a nightmare. I mean, imagine if raptors could talk to us. They'd never shut up. Ha 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 ha! The Costa Rican government start to contact the plane, saying how they are in fact an unidentified aircraft that is entering restricted airspace. Udesky switches off the radio.
Yeah, and they both just look at each other. I was just like, oh, here we go.
It's like, wait, why'd you have it on in the first place? If you knew you were going to switch it off when they got there, it's like, turn it off now.
Yeah, click.
I think it's for the audience to know that they're up to no good.
We're up to no good. We shoot things at an abandoned plane yard with giant guns.
I mean, what's worse? Kidnapping someone and taking them to a dinosaur island, or lying about it?
Both. Or saying you're from the church
Yeah.
when you're blatantly not.
My God. Cue the entering Jurassic Park theme music. Meh, 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 meh. Meh, 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 meh. Alan sees some dinosaurs. My God. I had forgotten.
Yeah, it was cool watching that. He had almost like, I hate them. I hate them. And he's sitting there talking about it in the university. I hate all of them is basically what he's doing. They're not real unless they're in the ground. And then he's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, the majesty of them, the grandeur.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different perspective being eaten and chased.
Yeah, the magic when you first see them, it's like, oh my God, that's right. I've forgotten. It's like when the Hondas won the 2015 Super Rugby title. And I go back and watch it and I go, my God, I'd forgotten.
Yeah, I'd forgotten.
They suck now. Cool shot.
Yeah. Where'd you go, guys?
A cool shot from above the plane with numerous dinosaurs scattering below. Like, I love that you see this plane from up top. You see all the animals below just scattering.
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
They can hear it. They're like, nope.
Yep, we're out of here. You can see the likes of Stegosauruses, Paras, Gallimimuses, and Brachiosaurs.
Gallimimuses, that's the ones with those weird bits on their heads.
Gallimimus. They're flocking this way. Udesky tells Cooper if he sees anything to let him know. Alan is confused by this as there are dinosaurs all around. Paul asks the pilots if they see anything, but they say nothing yet, Mr. Kirby. Alan is even more confused now. The pilots are looking to land. Alan says, "What do you mean? You can't land. You cannot land on this island." Alan starts heading towards the front of the plane. The Kirbys are pleading with Alan that it will be fine. Alan is then hit in the head from behind and knocked out. I do like the first person view of this. The ooh on Paul's face. That's where you see it is. Alan wakes up. "Billy, tell me we didn't land." You can hear Amanda calling for Eric through the bullhorn.
I think they're looking for someone.
You think, Billy?
Screaming like.
I think they're looking for someone. "Eric, where are you, Eric?" They might be looking for someone.
And she only calls the other guy's names once.
Eric, Eric, Eric. Ben, Eric.
She's thinking of his name the whole time. Eric, Ben. That's his name. That was my boyfriend's name.
The mercenaries load up their guns and equipment. Udesky puts extra equipment in Nash's backpack. Alan gets off the plane and asks Paul who hit him. Paul apologizes and lets Alan know that it was Cooper. The guy from church.
Yeah, the guy from church. Oh, Happy Cooper.
My God.
Who's just coming for their anniversary flight.
I'm not a mean person, but I hope he gets eaten by a Spinosaurus on a landing strip.
Hope he cries too.
Paul says that the mercenaries are setting up a perimeter, making sure the area is safe. "Trust me, on this island, there is no such thing as safe." Alan says how they need to get back on the plane and also tell Amanda to stop yelling through the bullhorn, as it's a very bad idea. Amanda, through the bullhorn, asks, "What's a bad idea?" I'm like,
Here we go. You've just set yourself up like Drake.
You then hear a roar coming from not too far away.
What was that? That's a Tyrannosaurus.
I don't think so. It sounds bigger. You can hear guns firing in the distance. The mercenaries start running back, yelling, "We have to leave! We have to leave now!" The group get back on the plane and start accelerating the plane so that they can take off. Cooper runs out in front of the plane, wanting the plane to stop. Nash just hopes Cooper gets out of the way as he knows he can't stop the plane. He's like, "Please, I'm from church."
Yeah, holding his arm. It bit me. Meanwhile, it's just a compy, and it's because of all the screaming that the Spinosaurus probably came out.
Yeah, if the Spino bit him, it wouldn't be exist anymore. So
That's what I thought.
So what bit him?
Something bit him, and he freaked out, popped shots off to it, and then the Spinosaurus has turned up like, "What are you doing?" And then he's just started screaming and hearing the plane. "Oh, God."
I'm out of here. Spino makes short work of Cooper. Nash tries to prematurely take off, which sends the plane off balance. The plane gets wedged up high in some trees. You see the blood splatter of Cooper as well go onto the windscreen. He's like,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oops, sorry, Cooper.
Reminds me of the Die Hard trilogy on PlayStation, the game. Like, you used to be able to play Die Hard 2, and Die Hard 3, and there are 3 different mini games.
Oh my God.
First game was like you're trying to get out of the Nakatomi Plaza, like it's almost like a third-person adventure action game. Yeah. The second one's on rails shooter in the airport,
Oh, trippy.
like virtual cop and stuff.
That'd be quite cool.
And the third one is a taxi driving game where you're going around trying to stop bombs from blowing up. If you're in the first-person view and you hit people on the streets, blood splatters on the windscreen. You use the windscreen wiper to wipe it away.
Just get off. Get out of here.
That's what this reminds me of. Everyone survived the crash. Well, except for Cooper, of course. Nash asks for a satellite phone, so Paul hands it over to him. Alan pushes the side door slightly open, which reveals that they are up behind the trees. Nash and Udesky can't seem to contact anyone with their communication equipment. There is some shaking of the plane. Paul wonders what it was. Then the smashed front windscreen reveals a big eye. Amanda starts screaming. This is the first, but certainly not the last, of her annoying, hysterical screaming.
Yep, that's perfect for it, though. Annoying, but...
God, it's annoying. The others wonder what she's screaming about, as they did not see the Spino lurking outside. The plane starts shaking again, and the front of the plane is ripped off. The Spinos start going after the group inside with its large crocodile-like snout.
Digging at them like an anteater.
Yeah, it's like, see it coming in, it's like, oh God. Nash is grabbed by the leg and thrown to the ground below by the Spino. Nash tries to crawl away, but is stomped on by the Spino, then devoured off screen. I don't know, he's crawling away, he's like, ah!
Stomps on him and then just like rips his head off, or rips him in half, or just eats the entire thing. Stand there and he's like, ha!
Yep, Nash didn't last long. The Spino then lets out a thunderous roar. The roar vibrates the plane out of the tree and slams it into the ground. The Spino then rolls the body of the plane around. The group inside trying dearly to hold on. The plane stops rolling and has created a little bit of distance between the group and the Spino. Amanda tries to run away, but Alan chases her down, grabs her, and physically encourages her to head back to the plane. Paul comes out to try and help, but sees the Spino and heads back into the plane. The Spino starts to flatten the plane with its giant foot and starts breaking into it with its giant snout. The group avoid the Spino and Alan leads them out of the plane. The Spino chases after them. The group run to a field in the clearing before running into another wooded area. The group manages to lose Thespian in the wood area. I said Thespian, yeah.
Thespian.
Thespian.
They have lost Thespian. He was devoured by the combies.
The group manages to lose the Spino in the wooded area as it could not follow the trees. Thespian. The group catches their breath for a moment before going through some bushes and coming to a giant dinosaur carcass. It's okay. It's dead. Then a T-Rex pops its bloody face up from the carcass.
I love how it hears him talk and it's just like, huh? And like pops its head up, looks, and it's like, aha.
He looks like the Domio Grin guy.
It's a me.
Nobody move a muscle. The T-Rex roars. The group runs away.
Yeah, they were just scattered.
Yeah. Feeling defeated and disappointed with them, Alan decides to run with them. The T-Rex starts to chase them, but then the group runs straight into a giant foot. It's the Spino. The T-Rex and Spino start to fight while Alan is trapped between two logs beneath them. That's kind of freaky how he's like stuck.
Oh.
Just imagine a T-Rex and a Spino fighting above you and you're trapped between two logs.
Just stands on you.
Yep, he did that for real. They got a real Spino and a real Tyrannosaurus to fight because Alan Grant, or Sam Neill, is a real actor.
He got them from New Zealand, guys.
Yep. We have them in their backyard right now.
And the Moas.
Yep.
And the Haast Eagles.
And the Bigfoot.
Yep. And Bigfoot.
What are your thoughts, Matt, on the Spino T-Rex fight?
Far too fast. Far too fast. It kind of annoyed me, to be fair. The T-Rex is the most formidable thing that they've learned about in 2 movies, basically. And then all of a sudden, broke your neck. All because White has opposable hands. Just grabs him, snaps its neck. That is literally the end of the Tyrannosaurus. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of sad.
You're actually in the same kind of thought process as the majority of people. Because people like, you've built Rexy and the T-Rex to be the mascot or the big thing for Jurassic Park. And you just went and nerfed her.
Yeah, just killed her.
For me, though, I don't mind it. Yeah, it may have jobbed out the T-Rex a little, but I thought it made you go, all right, this Spino is going to be tougher for Alan and the group to escape from. He's already escaped from T-Rex, so he knows kind of how to.
True, actually.
With a Spino, he doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah. You couldn't just do another T-Rex or another movie and be like, we already, they kind of predict what's going to happen. Yeah, true. I see what you mean.
Yes, they kind of nerfed the T-Rex, killed it early and stuff, and it could have been a lot longer fight, like maybe like King Kong and the T-Rex.
The end would have been good, them fighting around the flare and the water.
Yeah.
While they kind of go past them.
Well, King Kong and the T-Rex and Peter Jackson's King Kong, they could have had a fight like that.
That was a bloody good, that was awesome actually.
But I think the intention was just to either save money in CGI, but also just to show you that the Spinosaurus is way more badass than the T-Rex,
Yeah,
which
this is the sauna.
backfired because you haven't seen the Spino since.
Yeah, true.
And I think it's also why the T-Rex is the hero kind of in Jurassic World, where it comes and fights the Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex, that's it.
It fights that and becomes the hero again because of it being jobbed out in Jurassic Park 3. The Spino twists the T-Rex neck, snapping it. The Rex falls down dead. The Spino roars and showboats over its now dead rival. Almost looked like the Spino was going for an Undertaker cross-armed pin after a tombstone pile driver, because he always crosses the T-Rex's arms. Waiting for a referee to come in. 1, 2, 3, ring that bell!
Velociraptors come out and just start egging them on.
The group escape. Alan or Billy start to punch Paul over. It's off screen, so you don't see who it is. Oh wait, you see Alan massaging his fist afterwards, so he did it. He punched him. Paul and Amanda explain how their son Eric went missing on Isla Sorna, as they didn't come back from a parasailing trip. He was accompanied by Amanda's boyfriend, Ben Hildebrand. They were the two people we saw at the start. Paul and Amanda go on to say they are a divorced couple, hence Amanda having the boyfriend. Okay, so why me?
He said we needed someone who'd been on the island before. Yes, but I did not tell you to kidnap somebody.
I have never been on this island.
Sure you have. You wrote that book. That was Isla Nublar. This is Isla Sorna, Site B. You mean there's 2 islands with dinosaurs?
Ben and Eric have almost been missing 8 weeks.
What?
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was 2. That's
almost as long as the mum and Big was waiting for her son to come home.
Yeah, true, actually. Oh, God.
It was his birthday the other day. Yeah, no, I know. I was at his party. Oh, I didn't tell you that because he's big now? Yeah. Anyway, Alan talks to Billy. I think it's a Billy in that too. Isn't the kid next door's name Billy? I think it was.
Yeah, it was Billy. Hey, Billy. Yeah, oh my God, it was too.
It's full circle. Alan talks to Billy, telling him they will go back to the plane, gather whatever supplies they can, and then start heading for the coast. Paul says how he's not leaving without their son. Then you can go and look for him, or you can stick with us, as long as you don't hold us up. Either way, you probably won't get off this island alive. I love Alan's smile when he says this. He says like, you probably won't get off this island alive.
Yeah, you idiots. Like, are you kidding me?
We're all gonna die because of you. Paul asks Udesky what they should do. Udesky says they will go search for their son, in the direction that Alan and Billy are going. As Billy and co search the plane wreckage for supplies, Paul and Amanda change their clothes, leading to a loving, tender conversation. Cut to Billy taking pictures to the Spino's footprints. I put loving, tender conversation when they're changing clothes, and I'm like, cut to Billy taking pictures.
Yeah. Of them getting changed. Yeah. Billy gets told to leave by Alan Grant.
Billy, you're as bad as the people who built this place. And the Playboy Mansion, yeah.
That's why he's not in Dominion. He got done.
He's in jail for taking peep shows. Cut to Billy taking pictures of the Spino's footprints. How would you classify it, Billy?
Well, it's a super predator. A Suchomimus. That's snout.
No. Think bigger.
Baryonyx?
Not with that sail. Spinosaurus Egyptopictus. Alan hands Billy a dino tooth.
I don't remember that on InGen's list.
It's because it wasn't on their list. And it makes me wonder what else they were up to.
So, Mr. Kirby, when you climbed K2, did you base camp at 25 or 30,000 feet? 30,000 feet. We were pretty close to the top. You were about 1,000 feet above it, actually.
Mr. Kirby, there's no such thing as Kirby Enterprises, is there? Paul admits that it's actually called Kirby Paint and Tile Plus. The plus stands for bathroom fixtures. His shop is located in the Westgate Shopping Center in Enid, Oklahoma.
Kirby's Painting and Tile at Westgate.
Do you reckon there is a Kirby's and Tile place now in Oklahoma?
I'm going to Google it.
Okay, so it's not a shop then, it's just part of Jurassic Park lore. Damn, that'd been cool if it was.
Hang on. There is one. Oh. There's a real one. Kirby's Paint and Tiles Plus. There was really one in Enid, Oklahoma that had a Westgate shopping center. It's now called Westgate Plaza.
Wow, so it actually was a place. Maybe they came in after the movie?
Yeah, it must have. There's the Westgate Plaza.
Oh.
And it says Kirby's Paint and Tile Plus.
Wow, there you go. Life found a way. So the checks he wrote for Alan and Billy were not any good. Here we are, in the worst place in the world, and we're not even being paid. Paul says if they ever need their bathroom or kitchen renovated, he should sort them out. Udesky isn't even a mercenary, he's more like a booking agent. One of the guys got sick and couldn't come. You never can tell about someone, can you? Yeah. No, you can't. It's like, when they say that, it's like, shut up, you two. Yeah. You guys kidnap man and put him on a dinosaur island. Yep. You can't joke, right?
They're like, oh, we thought you'd been to this island, but you hadn't, you fraud.
He hadn't even been to K2. Amanda starts calling out for Eric again. Alan reminds her to keep her filthy, dinosaur-attracting yelling to herself. Or maybe it's just he says quiet. I don't know, I can't remember.
Something. Filthy animal-attracting screams, her curdling blood death rage. Yeah.
We just escaped a big giant Spinosaurus, and now you want it to bring it back again?
Oh my God, of course it's going to come back just because of that.
Paul and Amanda fight about listening to Alan, as after all, he's not looking for Eric. He's heading for the coast. The group come across a torn dinosaur parachute. Paul and Amanda start yelling for Eric. I don't know why, but every time I see this parachute scene, I think of Uncharted, the first Uncharted game, when you have to go up and find the parachute, the crash site of Elena.
Damn, I can't remember that.
You come across your parachute, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in the plane and everything, and the plane's wedged in the trees. It just reminds me of this.
That's cool. I need to play that again.
It's good. We've also done the Uncharted podcast with Ross earlier on, if you want to listen to that, on Nobody's a Bennett. Alan reminds them to stop being stupid, as it's been 8 weeks. The chances are remote that they're still near the crash site. Udesky finds a video camera that Ben had. Amanda says how the batteries are dead. But don't worry. Udesky says, hang on. I have an idea. Udesky then uses the batteries from his torch. Watch out. This guy knows a thing or two.
Maybe he's not just a booking agent. He knows how to do basic knowledge and be like, oh no, the batteries need changing. Here's something logical. Use a camera for a flashlight, even though we'll need the flashlight more. But that's fine. We'll watch your son's last moments.
They replace the batteries and watch the footage. Shows Eric and Ben flying, then looking for a place to land. Cuts to showing Eric landing on the ground while Ben is still up in the tree. Alan looks at the glider and asks Billy if he can fly it.
Maybe, as long as the sail's not torn.
Alan says that they should take it. If nothing else, it might be a good way to get the plane's attention. Billy and Alan start to remove the glider from the tree. They then make a gruesome discovery. Ben was still in the glider.
And here comes the screaming.
Cue to another annoying Amanda screaming session. Must have been exhausting for Tia Leone. Her annoying screams remind me of Willie in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. She was quite annoying too. Amanda runs off in a frantic state. Maybe just let the Spino have her?
Literally, just feed her to the dinosaur. You'll probably all get off the island.
She's annoying you and she's slowing you down. She's attracting dinosaurs to you. Alan says for Paul to go and get her. I like that. He's like, go get her, Mr. Kirby.
Yeah, go get your wife. Or just leave her.
Paul hugs Amanda and says how sorry he is about Ben. It's not Ben, Paul. Wow. Way to give no toss about Ben. It's Eric. He's out there, all by himself.
So's Ben's carcass for 8 weeks.
Hanging out there chilling with compies.
Like, what happened to him, the poor guy? Did Eric just leave?
He was eaten alive. Devoured by something.
So Eric's like, oh God. And then the compies are just eating poor Ben.
Maybe like Spino came and Eric ran. Ben might have said run for cover and then maybe he just didn't come back and Ben slowly starved.
Yeah, Ben's like, you prick. You've just left me here. Yeah. See, no one cares about poor Ben.
No, because he found that truck hideout and he wasn't coming into that. Yeah. It was a sweet hideout. It's Eric. He's out there all by himself. Don't worry, Amanda. Hey, maybe he's dead already and is no longer in danger.
There we go.
Paul promises that they will find him. Amanda then notices something. Paul yells out for Dr. Grant to come and look at something. Billy finishes rolling up the glider while the others run off. Alan bends down to look at some eggs and a nest. He then looks around to see a bunch of other nests close by, all grouped closely together. A look of dread washes over his face. That's what I love about this, because he doesn't have to say anything. He just knows, like, by seeing the fossilized raptors, just kind of like what they were like as a nest. Like, they used to group together for safety and stuff, probably. Yeah. That's why when he saw multiple, he knew exactly what animal it was.
Yeah, there's heaps of them. He's like, oh no, we're in their territory now.
Raptor. Billy is packing the glider into his bag. When he walks over, he sees the raptor eggs in the nest. The group start to head away. Alan notices that Billy isn't with them, so he backtracks to find him. Alan finds Billy and asks what he was doing. Billy says how he was taking pictures of the nest. Don't do that again.
Sorry.
If I lose you, it's just me and a damn tourist. Cut to the group coming across an old InGen facility. I don't believe it's the same place that was in Lost World. This is called the InGen compound. Rather, the place in the Lost World was the communication center, so I don't think it's the same place, but I've always wondered when I used to watch, it's like, is this the same place as I came across in the last one?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
No, because I didn't see a big hill. Well, there was a hill nearby, but there was no raptor field thing. The group head inside. Paul calls out for Eric. Even Amanda realizes that's a bad idea. As the group try to use the phone and find out the line is dead, they walk on. As they walk on, though, the camera stays in place, and the silhouette of a two-legged creature with a long tail goes rushing by outside.
Reminds me of when it's breathing up against the door.
Like in the first Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Paul tries to use coins in the vending machines. Billy then just smashes one open and takes some snacks. Paul tries to do the same, but only ends up hurting himself. The group walk into a large open room. You can see machines with broken eggshells along with broken glass. This was the breeding facility. This is how you make dinosaurs? No. This is how you play God. I like that line. Because right, it's how you play God. Sam Neill was so good, and actually has some decent lines. Amanda walks along and sees dinosaurs in glass jars. She goes past a couple of infants before coming across this large raptor head. As Amanda goes in for a closer look, she notices something that terrifies her. The raptor's eye moves.
I love that scene. I completely forgot about that when I was watching it the other night. I was like, oh, that's right. And then it moved as soon as I did that. And I was like, ha ha.
You see it slightly moved to look at her? It's like, oh.
It's run all the way inside and then just snuck past everything to be like, where are they? Centered them out and then just been like...
It's smart enough to realise that humans wouldn't think it's not inside the jar. Yeah. They wouldn't look around behind it.
They must have lived there for a while to look at all the dead ones that were in jars and all that and been like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can get away with this. Suddenly a raptor comes from around the empty glass tube and starts snapping at Amanda. The raptor can't wedge its way through to her though. The group runs but come to a dead end in the cage area. They run another way to a locked gate. They try to run back, but the raptor has them cornered. The group run into open cages and try to shut the door. So they split into two different cages area. I think it was about 3 and 2 split, whatever it is. The raptor goes after half the group that went into one of the cages. The raptor manages to push the cage door all the way back, pinning a few of them between the cage wall and cage door. The raptor then starts to climb over to get them. Once the raptor is off the ground, the group push the door all the way back and trap the raptor between the other cage wall and the door and lock it into place. The group run while the trapped raptor starts making a type of chirping noise. My God, he's calling for help.
Yeah, that bit would have put the craps up and he's like, oh God, they've learned more since the last time I've seen velociraptors.
They're making new sounds, but it's good they did, because if they didn't make the sound there, then Alan wouldn't know to make it later on.
True.
It's cool because it's a new sound that, yeah, obviously you won't know what a raptor actually sounds like, but it's cool that they kind of developed something new for the movie. Gives it more of a place into the world of Jurassic series. Like, it's got points that are worth watching it to actually understand the rest of the movies. The group escape the facility and run into the bushes. The trapped raptor comes outside. Must have freed himself. Or did the raptor come along and free him because he was calling for help? Maybe one of them came and freed him. So, hey, Joe, can you give me a hand here? Yeah,
because he's
sure
pretty
thing.
jammed behind that door.
He was. He says he's freed himself and he calls on his raptor boys, or girls, for help. Ellen tells the group to run through the herd of parasaurs they come across. Billy falls over during the chaos and drops his bag, but Ellen manages to recover it. The raptors catch up to the herd. Ellen then says to head for the trees.
See, they wouldn't have bothered if he hadn't have bothered picking up his camera.
No, he just, the bag fallen down, I picked it up. Little does he know.
Of course, Ellen thinking of logistics, he would have been like, oh, we need these pictures.
Then again, they may still come after them just to kill them, because they're vengeful, I would say. They're like, you did it once, what's going to stop you from trying it again? Yeah, we'll stop you. Paul and Amanda go up some trees while Udesky gets stopped by a raptor. Paul can hear Udesky's cries through the trees.
It's creepy, this bit.
It is. As Udesky is crawling away, a raptor walks up to him and puts that huge retractable claw, the same as Alan used to carry in Jurassic Park, through the back of Udesky. It's like slash. There goes his spine. Billy is running and is stopped in his tracks by a nearby raptor. He hides behind a tree as the raptor runs away. Billy climbs a tree then and asks if Alan is with them. Cut to Alan running through the forest. Cut back to Paul, Amanda and Billy, still in the trees. They see Udesky on the ground. They think he's dead, but then his arm starts to move. Amanda starts to head down to tend to him, when Billy warns her, wait, something's not right. Amanda slips and starts to fall, but her legs get caught on a branch, leaving her hanging upside down. 2 raptors run towards her and start jumping up to try and bite her. So Billy and Paul pull her back up.
They set a trap. They actually set a trap.
Cut to Ellen in the tall grass, watching a raptor call out. What are you saying? What are you looking for?
I love his intrigue.
Yeah. Cut back to the 2 raptors hanging out near Udesky's body. They realize they need to go, so one of them puts Udesky's head in its mouth and violently snaps Udesky's neck.
Yeah, that was just like, we didn't need you. Yeah. We've got no use for you. We weren't trying to, yeah. Oof.
Raptors then run off. Cut back to Alan, still lurking around looking for the raptors. He looks in the nearby forest area, but finds nothing. Ellen then sits back down behind a tree trunk, thinks for a moment, then gets back up to have another look. When he does, though, he is greeted by a raptor staring right at him. Ellen starts walking back slowly as the raptor closes in. 3 more raptors come and surround Ellen. Suddenly, tear gas grenades are thrown into the area, and then another one. Ellen is grabbed and led away from the area, Batman style.
A ghillie suit. Looks like an Ewok wearing a ghillie suit.
He was saved by an Ewok. The person leads Ellen into a tipped-over truck hideout. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Eric.
You know who I am?
Yeah, your parents are here. They're looking for you.
Together?
Together.
That's not good. They don't do so well together.
You'd be surprised what people can do when they have to. Eric changes over the battery light, then has a good hard look at Ellen.
You're Sam Neill from New Zealand. You got a winery in Central Otago. Woo!
Yep, 2 paddocks, mate. Some Pinot Noir.
And he won 2017 Gold Rose Awards.
Pulls out a Pinot Noir, like an award-winning one. It's like, yeah, this one's going to have a bit of an oaky taste.
You got any wine, Eric? Seem to have torches. No. You're Alan Grant. What are you doing here?
When Eric says, you're Alan Grant, you can actually hear a subtle background version of the Jurassic Park theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, the other one.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's cool.
Your parents, invited me along.
They would have made him feel good, though. He's like, hey, that kid knows who I am. And that 3-year-old knows that herbivores don't attack each other.
Why? Because I'm the dinosaur man. Cut to Ellen eating something out of a can.
You look like beans or something.
Yeah, but it looked kind of mushy and
He
horrible.
seemed real starving and only been like half a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure he ate that morning. I read both your books. I liked the first one more, before you were on the island. You liked dinosaurs back then.
Well, back then they hadn't tried to eat me yet.
When Engine cleared out, they left a lot of stuff behind.
Any weapons?
No, and I just used the last of the gas grenades.
And I appreciate that. Ellen picks up a science beaker full of liquid.
Careful with that. T-Rex. It scares the smaller ones away, but it attracts one really big one with a fin.
This is T-Rex pee?
Mm.
Eric nods. How'd you get it?
You don't want to know.
Eric throws Ellen a candy bar. Dessert? He says on it.
Yeah, dessert, and it's like the thinnest.
Hey, it's chocolate on his island.
The way he eats it annoys me. He's like,
Yeah, if I was a kid, I would have eaten all the candy bars first.
yeah, that'd all be gone. You've been there for 8 weeks.
Be gone for like 8 hours. After 8 hours, after we've got them, they're gone. Eric, I have to tell you, I'm astonished you lasted 8 weeks on this island.
Is that all it's been?
Well, you are alive, and that's the important thing. And thanks to you, that's one thing we have in common. Did you read Malcolm's book?
Yeah.
So?
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of preachy. And too much chaos. Everything was chaos. Seemed like the guy was kind of high on himself.
Well, that's 2 things now that we have in common. Eric gets spooked when he hears a noise outside.
Listen! Compies.
Eric shuts the lid to the tipped-over truck as compies run by.
Oh, maybe that's what killed Ben, because he can hear their noises, and he's like, oh, God. And when he's running back to Ben, hearing him screaming.
We've seen what they can do in the Lost World when they take down that guy.
Yeah, they do too, and he was a full hunter, yeah. Get away, throwing rocks at them, running through there.
These days, he's like, if you need a Russian mafioso guy, he's your guy. He's also in Until Dawn. He's the therapist.
Oh, he is too.
I thought I would act out most of the scene as it was one of the best in the movie I actually found. Here's this 13-year-old boy who has survived on an island of dinosaurs by himself for almost 8 weeks. You feel that Ellen is talking to a person who he has great admiration and respect for, rather than a child. It's also one of the few times in the movie where Ellen isn't annoyed, more impressed.
Yeah, he is. He's just calm. He's just like, finally someone else who actually knows what they're doing.
He never talks to him like a child. He talks to him like an equal.
Yeah, thanks for saving me, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, you know me? Yeah, your parents are looking for you.
You're the first person who's actually probably done something to help me out in this island rather than the other thing out. You know, I've been helping everyone else out, but it's nice that I appreciate your help.
Yeah, and he's been there for 8 more weeks than Alan has, so he kind of knows a little bit more.
Well, Jurassic Park, he was only on the island for like 3 days, not even 3 days, so 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, true. 2 months.
Cut to Paul and Amanda sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I. No. Cut to Amanda sitting in a tree while Billy moves around calling for Ellen. Cut to a shot of an Ankylosaurus, walking through the forest. So it's one of those things that they show you as a random dinosaur walking around, but they never have anything that will actually further the story.
Yeah, there's nothing else. They're still here, but
Just raptors and Spino.
yeah, it's weird.
And just, here's a pretty picture of a whole bunch of dinosaurs, but raptors and Spino. Cut back to Amanda, back in the tree. Paul reassures her that none of this was her fault. Eric has always been a strong-willed kid, and then when you throw something like Ben Hildebrand into the mix, well, it's not Amanda's fault.
Bloody Ben.
Yeah, Ben Hildebrand, my God.
Losing his kids.
Amanda says that if Eric had been with Paul, he would have been completely safe. Paul drives 5 miles under the speed limit, and Amanda has totaled 3 cars in 3 years. Paul confesses that she didn't actually total 3 cars, as the Buick wasn't totally totaled. He just said it so he can get the SUV. Honesty in a marriage.
Yep, isn't it great?
Amanda says she is so sorry that Paul needs to be there, but Paul says he's not. Ooh. A Few Dinosaurs is nothing compared to William H. Macy's marriage troubles in the movie Boogie Nights, which is another one we've done on the MRU. I'm not sure if you've seen Boogie Nights.
Nah.
He has a wife that sleeps with everyone. He's like at a party, and she's just shagging someone in the open garage where people are watching
Oh
him.
my god.
And she's like, just go away, you're embarrassing me. And he's like, I'm embarrassing you. Ends up on New Year's Eve party night in that movie, walking into the room where she's shagging someone else. And he shoots her, shoots the guy, and then walks into the party and shoots himself.
Oh my god.
So yeah, A Few Dinosaurs ain't much. Cut to morning. Eric opens up the hatch to his truck hideout. Ellen starts to pack a few things. Ellen and Eric leave the truck. Billy, Paul, and Amanda climb down from the trees. Ellen and Eric spot a boat right alongside the bank. Looks in good shape. Ellen and Eric start to make their way down to it. I love the shot of them on the cliffs here because you can see the fog in between the jungle canyons. I said before, some of these sweeping shots that you see,
Where are they for that?
I think it's just a green screen in front of them.
Yeah, wherever that is, Amazon jungle or somewhere. That's beautiful. Might have been actually Costa Rica.
It was all filmed in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, cool.
I think Hawaii and a little bit of California.
It was beautiful.
It looked amazing, yeah. But it
I
might
could have done it in New Zealand.
But it might have been green screen, what they had there, but didn't look like green screen, it was a thing. Cut back to Billy and the Kirbys by a stream.
We stick to the plan. Head for the coast.
You're not gonna look for Dr. Grant?
The coast was Ellen's idea. If he's still alive, that's where he's headed.
What about Eric?
Eric's a smart kid. He probably knows he stands his best chances by the coast. He figures all the big dinosaurs are in the center of the island, right?
Billy gives a very unconvincing.
Sure.
Billy and the Kirbys head off. Keep saying like someone in the Kirbys, like Ellen and the Kirbys and Billy and the Kirbys. It sounds like a band. Billy and the Kirbys.
Billy and the Kirbys.
Cut to Eric and Ellen. Eric shows Ellen the raptor claw he got. How much of the island have you explored?
I stay pretty close to the compound. I figured if anyone came looking for me, that's where they'd start.
We need to get to the coast. That was the plan.
Are you sure? The closer you get to the water, the bigger things get.
I do like that Paul thinks that the bigger dinosaurs are inland, but Eric knows that in fact that is the opposite, hence why Billy was so hesitant before. Well, if we can find our way down to the canyon, we can follow that river out to the coast. As Alan and Eric are talking, Eric stops as he can hear something. It's his parents' satellite phone. He knows the ringtone as it's the radio jingle tune for his dad's company.
The Kirby's painting tiles home at Westgate.
Eric and Ellen run towards it. Eric yells out for his parents. Cut to Billy and the Kirbys walking through the forest. Paul stops as he can hear something. He puts his hand out to hold Amanda. They hear Eric calling out for them and start running towards the yells. They all meet up. Only problem is that there's a giant fence in between the two groups.
I knew it, my God.
Billy shakes Ellen's hand.
Boy, am I glad to see you. Hey, you got my bag?
Yeah, lucky strap. Billy asks if Ellen wants him to carry it. Ellen reminds him that they need to find a gap in the fence first. Ellen looks up to see some nasty spikes on top of the, 30-foot fence?
Yeah, that was a brutal looking
I was
fence.
like, those spikes. I was like, ugh.
How did you know we were here? The phone. The stupid jingle from the store. I heard it. My phone? Yeah, your satellite phone? I don't have it.
When did you have it last?
On the plane? I got a call on the plane and
What?
I loaned it to Nash. He must have had it when...
Cut to the phone tune going off again. Paul looks into the distance. Alan and Eric turn around. To their sheer horror, they see the Spino The phone is ringing in its belly.
The way it's just standing there hunkered over, just like, hello, Bobbit.
I find it amusing that the Spino isn't charging. He's just chilling there like, hey, yo.
Turn around, gotcha. Yeah.
It's weird that he waits for them to turn around. It's like, obviously when you stand there for a while, I was like, this is awkward.
He's standing there and you can hear the noise and he's just like, why aren't they moving?
Whatever brand of cellular phone it is, that's a really good advertising for it. It went through a whole digestive system of a Spinosaurus. It still works.
Nokia 2280.
You just can't destroy them.
Survives the dinosaur's stomach. Get yours from Verizon today.
Alan tells Eric to run. Alan and Eric run alongside the fence while the Spino closes in on them. They manage to find a hole in the fence to escape through, just in the nick of time. The CGI effects of the Spino are definitely a step down from the first two movies. Doesn't look as polished. It almost looks like the renderings, like it's not textures.
Yeah, it's
aren't
kind of
good.
like painted.
Yeah,
And they haven't mixed the colours at all. They've just gone, it's all good.
textures are a bit blurry and close up as well. The group relax after that close encounter, only for the Spino to bust right through the fence.
Yeah, it just takes it out.
Whack. The group take refuge in a nearby building. The door seems solid enough to withhold a Spino. What's in there that needs to withhold a Spino?
Yeah, literally.
It's like,
What are they testing? That is like a weapon or something?
The group take the moment to relax and regroup. Billy talks to Alan.
Alan, you want to give me back that bag?
It's okay, Billy. I got it.
Please, give me the bag. It's not safe.
Alan, now curious, looks in the bag. Inside it, he finds something alarming. Raptor eggs? Did you steal raptor eggs? Alan has a look of realization on his face. Now it all makes sense.
I swear, if I'd have known you were going to end up with them, I took them on an impulse. I thought they were going to be worth a fortune. Enough to fill in the dig site for another 10 more years. Look, you have to believe me. This was a stupid decision, but I did it with the best intentions.
With the best intentions? Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions. You know what, Billy? As far as I'm concerned, you're no better than the people who built this place.
That would have killed him.
Yeah, it does, because he doesn't move for a while. He just stands there in shock. Alan sticks the bag out the window, preparing to drop the eggs, but then stops in his tracks.
What are you doing? Those things are after us because of those.
Those things know we have the eggs. If I drop them in the river, they'll still be after us.
What if they catch us with them?
What if they catch us without them? That's another good line like that.
They know we have them, like.
Yeah, what if they catch us without them? I love that. Alan keeps a hold of the bag. There's a boat at the bottom just downriver. They can use it to make it to the coast. The group head down a spiral staircase. I do like a good spiral staircase. It's good to see that. It's like, it's one of those in 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years.
Back to the future. Billy is still standing upstairs, still in shock with what Alan said. He's like just standing there like, what? I think Alan was too harsh on Billy, comparing him to the people who brought back an extinct species just because they wanted to and did not think about how that species could coexist with us, to a guy who admires his work and boss to the point that he wanted to help keep his dream going.
And he thought about, it's found the dig site for 10 years, it'd be worth a fortune, all that.
Yeah, obviously Alan got later on, things the same thing, but yeah, Billy's never in it for financial gain. He was in it because he wanted to...
Because that's why he would have set up the first meeting with the Kirby's, was because the dig site would have been losing money and they would have had to shut up soon.
Well, that's it. It was never to make financial gain for himself. It was just so he could keep working with Alan. That's the only thing he wanted, pretty much.
Both their passions, really, yeah.
As the group get down to the bottom of the spiral staircase, they come across a steel walkway that is covered in fog. They start to head down the stairs on the walkway, not really seeing where they're going. They try to walk down a second level, but the rusty old stairs fall away, almost making Alan fall.
I hate those stairs, just like metally, crumbly chain.
Imagine like the rusted edges and getting cut on one of those. Oh, tetanus, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty. Billy is almost in a trance at this point. You know, that he's like completely like got a washed look over his face,
Yeah,
like,
he's just kind of...
oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah,
I've lost the respect of the only one person in the world that I really wanted it from. It's almost like your dad telling you how disappointed he was in you.
Yeah, 100%.
They decide to go.
Dare you.
They decide to go across a walkway ramp, but they are going to do it one at a time to avoid the ramp breaking apart. Alan goes first. As he walks along, he disappears into the fog, which I think is pretty cool. He just disappears. It's like a horror scene, this part. When he gets to the other side, he calls out for the next person to come along. Amanda says how she's going over, but not for Eric to worry, as she will be waiting for him right over on the other side. Eric reminds his mum, He survived on the island for 8 weeks. He can manage the next 2 minutes without her. Amanda gets across and says for Eric to come over. During all of this, Ellen is walking around, trying to figure out what type of structure this place is. Eric is the next to go over. Ellen grabs a piece of old poop and sniffs it. His investigation brain running on high alert is like,
Yeah, what is this? There's an animal in here.
maybe another.
Even though he's never smelled pterodactyl poo before, and says the whole genome. But part of it is this.
As Eric walks, there is a rumbling on the handrail, and he sees a silhouette of something just up in front of him.
Mom?
Oh my God. What is it? It's a bird cage. Eric is continuing to look when a massive pterodon walking with its wings tucked in walks towards him. Eric yells and runs away. Eric gets grabbed by the now flying pterodon. The group run around the giant cage trying to keep aside of Eric. Wouldn't it have sucked, Matt, if Eric was murdered by this giant pterodon?
And then that's it. They've gone to the island for nothing.
I mean, his whole entire movie would have been for nothing. So, yeah. He just gets murdered when they see him. We found him. He's actually safer with you guys not around because he survived for 8 weeks. Then you guys show up and he's dead.
You took him into a giant bird cage. Yeah. You got your son killed.
He got devoured by babies.
Eric! Well, look what you've done there.
Eric has dropped into some giant rock posts. Pterodons have the nests on. Eric was to be food for the babies.
This bit's gross. Peeking at him.
Eric leaps from pillar to pillar trying to avoid the chasing babies. Billy looks at Ellen and clips the belt to the dinosaur glider to his waist, his lucky strap. Billy then runs away. Ellen is pleading for Billy to stop, but Billy keeps running until he gets to an open balcony area. Don't, Billy! Billy jumps over the side and pulls the cord to release the glider chute. I quite enjoy the operatic music in this scene. It's actually got a little bit of operatic music.
So it's quite intense, actually.
It is.
They're all kind of freaking out, like, oh God, Billy's just like, I have to redeem myself.
Yeah, I have to do something.
I have to redeem myself. I care too much about Ellen.
Yeah, and also, this kid survived 8 weeks. I ain't going to let him die now.
Literally, yeah.
Ellen watches as Billy glides towards Eric. Eric is trying to fight off the baby pterodons who are biting at him. Reminds you a bit of the compy scene from Lost World because they're like biting his face and everything.
Yeah, they're all over him too. He's trying to,
Eric runs along some rock pillars and jumps and grabs onto Billy's waist. Paul, Amanda, and Ellen come to a gap in the walkway. A pterodon shows up in the opening and tries to get through, but can't, so starts flying above them instead. It finds another gap in the walkway and starts walking its way towards them. Some of the pterodons start to attack Eric and Billy, who are still gliding. The pteros tear a hole in the glider. Meanwhile, Ellen and the Kirbys are backing away from the walking ptero. Ellen kicks it, but it just seems to piss it off.
What are you kicking me for?
You want to go.
I'm 3 times your size. I'll just pick you up and drop you on some rocks.
Shows you how big those pterodons are, eh?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the scene in Jurassic World Dominion when they attack the plane.
They're that big too, the massive B-52 bomber.
Eric lets go of Billy and lands in some water. The ramp that Ellen, the Kirbys, and the Tero are in gives way, and they fall into the water. The Tero then gets crushed by the falling piece of ramp. A crushing defeat for our friend Tero.
Yeah, trapped forever. You'd be gone.
Billy's glider gets caught in the side of a rock face, just like in New Zealand. Ellen and the Kirbys get out of the water and head to Eric. Eric points to where Billy is. As Eric is yelling, you can hear his voice break.
There he is! He's across the river!
God, yeah, that'll do. We can go, there he is, voice break.
Yeah, there he is, a voice break! Cross the river!
Ellen and Paul go off to save Billy while Amanda runs off with Eric. Billy unclips himself from the glider and drops to the water below. As Billy is running through the water, he's attacked by a swooping Tero. It attempts and fails to grab and fly off with him. Ellen and Paul run towards Billy. Billy continues to get attacked by Teros. Cut to Amanda and Eric at the door of the birdcage. They attempt to open it. A lot of attempting here. Cut back to Ellen and Paul. They stop as they can't really do much to help Billy. Billy is screaming at them.
Get away!
Pretty much sacrificing himself here.
Yeah.
Billy gets washed away down the river with a Tero attacking him. There is another Tero there though, sitting on the rock that comes into shot. It turns to face the camera like, are we going to have a problem, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's creepy. Yeah, it just kind of does
No, we're going to have him, but, Paul and Ellen back away. So I don't want none of that Tero.
Yep. No, thank you. Yeah. He's already watched you crush a couple of them. He's just building with rage.
Yeah. You come at me if you want, but I warn you.
But he practices Buddhism, so...
He lets them go. Ellen and Paul swim under the cage while Eric and Amanda escape through the door. The group get to the boat, but in their haste, Amanda and Eric did not lock the cage door. The boat sails off. Alan looks at the cage, now almost completely free of fog. It's a sight to behold.
It's huge too. Gigantic Avery.
Cut to later. Paul has managed to get the motor on the boat running. Eric talks to Alan.
I'm sorry about Billy.
You know what the last thing I said to him was? I said, you're as bad as the people that built this place. Actually, I think it was, no, stop, Billy, stop, no, Billy.
Yeah, it was too.
Which wasn't true. Billy was just young, that's all. I have a theory that there are two kinds of boys. The good kind and the bad kind. Mm-hmm.
The good boy and the bad boy. Bad boy go to jail, go do time. Good boy get good wife, good ass, good car.
There are those that want to be astronomers and those that want to be astronauts. The astronomer, or the paleontologist, gets to study these amazing things from a place of complete safety.
But then you never get to go into space.
Exactly. It's the difference between imagining and seeing, to be able to touch them. And that's all Billy wanted. Eric then notices a clearing that shows a whole bunch of different dinosaurs living in harmony. The Jurassic Park theme takes over. Da da da.
Oh, it is too.
Da da da. Da 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 da.
You know something, Dr. Grant? Billy was right.
Ooh, that's a kick in the gut right at the end there. He got him killed, but he was right. Cut to night. The boat is silently gliding through the water. This part reminded me of the 1997 movie Anaconda, with J-Lo, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson, and John Voight.
That movie was great.
And it has that scene where they're in the boats. This reminded me of that.
The scene where he gets bitten by the spider. He's just like paralyzed in that little... Is that one?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. I remember John Voight gets eaten by the snake at the end.
Yeah, they try to go to sacrifice him to the snake or something, and they poison him with something, and yeah, he's just like lying there like paralyzed, like oh, and the snake just like spirals out of nowhere.
Paul says to listen. The sound of the satellite phone is going off. The group is preparing for what could possibly be another Spino attack. But instead they come across piles of dino poo. The phone is in one of the poop piles. The group run to find it before it stops ringing. They grab numerous items from the poop, including watches, human bones, glasses, and more. Amanda finds the poo-covered phone. Alan answers the phone. Careful putting the poop phone up to your ear, Alan. That could cause one nasty ear infection.
It probably could. If it gets in his eye. Oh,
Yeah. It's just in your ear. If it goes through your ear, then
straight in your eardrum.
The phone call was an advert for some resort. Eric yells for them to look out. A wandering Ceratosaurus comes rocking up to the group. It takes a sniff at our poo-covered comrades and has a look of disgust.
Yeah.
The Ceratosaurus walks off.
He just kind of looks something like...
Yeah, I'm guessing it smelt the scent of the Spino and decided to leave rather than the fact that they had poo on them. I think it must have smelt the Spino. And it's like, I'm out of here.
Unless Eric broke his jar of pee while he was getting attacked.
Maybe.
Might have had it with him, I don't know.
Doused himself in it.
He's just left his house, never to return.
Can't waste that good pee.
No, keep it.
Cut to the group back on the boat. Thunder and lightning are filling the sky with light and sound. Paul says that they have enough power on the satellite phone for maybe one phone call. Eric is staring at something in the water at the end of the boat. Something has spooked the fish in the water. Alan starts dialing the phone while Paul tries to get the engine started on the boat. Alan rings Ellie, but Charlie picks up. Charlie! Take the phone to Mummy, now! It's the Dinosaur Man!
Okay.
As Alan is on the phone and Paul is still struggling with the engine, a fin is gliding through the water behind the boat. The boat gets slammed, which causes Alan to drop the phone. The Spino is back, baby. The Spino starts destroying the boat, so the group lock themselves in a secure cage. It's like, yeah, I know there's a Spino right there, but in a cage where you're going to go in the water, it's not like the best place to go.
No, not at all.
Charlie sees Ellie talking to Mark at the car and decides to go and watch Barney the dinosaur while he waits for his mum. Old Barney, eh?
I love it. He's just like having a dance and they're all just stressing out on the other side of the world.
They're just dying, it's fine.
No river!
It's pretty much a giant Barney's attacking them, that's all. Cut back to the group in the cage. The Spino is tipping the boat, causing it to sink more and more.
I love you. You love me. So I'm picturing as they're just sinking in the water. We're a happy for. The river's on fire.
Well, I had a theory that Barney the Dinosaur, the reason why he had new kids every season was he'd gain their trust over the season and eat them at the end and then get new kids for the next season.
Yeah, sounds legit.
That's what a dinosaur does, guys. Don't let a dinosaur into your house. It's like vampires. The satellite phone keeps getting rocked from side to side as the Spino sways the boat. The fuel from the engine has been punctured and is leaking out. The Spino grabs the cage and starts to slide it off the boat and into the water. Charlie gives the phone to Ellie.
Alan?
No answer. Ellie redials the number that just called her. She's smart. The sat phone starts ringing. The group start grabbing for the phone that's still rocking from side to side on the boat. Alan grabs the phone just as the Spino gets the cage fully into the water. Ellie! Ellie, listen to me! The river! Site B! The river! Ellie, shocked and unsure what she just heard, has her son come up, making dinosaur sounds, which makes her click. Oh my god, Site B. See, before I watched this, I didn't actually know what he said. I used to think he'd say, the river. Ellie, the river. And I was like, how the heck did she
I
get...
thought too. Yeah, the river. And I'm like, how
How'd she get that?
How does she know that from the river? I was like, well, she's GPS tracks the satellite phone then, somehow. But yeah, he's just like, Site B. And then she would have just gone, oh.
It makes so much more sense now that Site B's in there. As soon as you say Site B, it's like, she automatically knows what he means. Yeah. Well, after her Charlie makes sounds.
So imagine that she's just like, rah, rah, and she's like, I'm not sure, sweetheart. Puts the phone down, and then it's just dun 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 dun. It's over top of Jurassic Park. The Spinosaurus is there, and it's just the half. You see the corner of the cage in the water 2 years later, and you're like,
hey, Ella, did you ever get a phone call from Alan like a couple of years ago or anything? There was one phone call. It's kind of weird, but it's nothing.
we found his body in Site B in the river.
Oh, of course.
And she's like, oh, the river.
The group are now stuck in an underwater cage. The Spino spinning the cage makes the cage door swing open. Paul manages to get out, but the rest remain trapped as the Spino rolls the cage around to reveal the open door. It looked like the Spino was picking bingo numbers the way he was spinning that cage. He's like spinning like, all right, next one's going to be B44.
Human carcass 31.
Paul swims away while the Spino tries to claw and bite through the opening in the cage. Paul climbs a nearby crane. Paul distracts the Spino while the rest of the group escape the cage. Paul runs out of crane and Alan dives under the water. The Spino starts to slam the crane that Paul is on. Paul falls off, only hanging by his arms. Alan finds a flare gun underwater and he fires the flare gun at the Spino. So it still works, which is nice. Wasn't sure if it worked being in water, reddening and stuff, but no, it's fine. The flare causes the fire to ignite the fuel in the water. It starts to burn the Spino. Paul falls into the water. The Spino runs off and there seems to be no sign of Paul. Paul, you jerk! You can't leave me like this. Paul emerges from the water behind them.
Like Batman. I'm not going anywhere. Just out from the water. I'm not going anywhere.
The Kirbys hug Paul. Paul is a hero, but he still lured a bunch of people to a monster island under false pretenses and got most of them killed. But hey, he did one good thing, so now he's redeemed.
Got one of the people killed from his church group. Please. You know I can't stop this plane.
When he's like crying there, I was like,
get out of the way.
you could have almost used the Pumbaa line from Lion King. He's trying to eat me. Well, it's she in that.
Yeah,
she's trying to eat me.
Probably good when he's standing there crying.
Cut to later, the group are resting in a forest. Paul tells Amanda and Eric the story of how he screwed up a fishing trip they once had. Good times.
Yeah, awesome, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, what a time to tell the story. The group move on through the forest.
That lady you called, who is she? And how do you know that she can help us?
She's the one person I could always count on. I owe her a lot. Although, I don't think I ever told her that.
You should.
Alan stops Eric in his tracks. You hear that?
The ocean!
The group start running towards the coast, but are ambushed by a group of raptors. They are surrounded. They want the eggs. Otherwise, we'd be dead already. Everybody, get down. She's challenging us. Alan slowly moves his bag to reveal the eggs. The main raptor starts sniffing around Amanda. She thinks you stole the eggs. Give me the eggs. Alan opens the bag. As a raptor sees the eggs, it starts calling out. Whatever it says. As Alan is removing the eggs from the bag, he sees the Raptor voice modulator that Billy sculpted towards the start of the film. Alan hands Amanda the eggs. Alan then pulls out the Raptor voice modulator and blows into it, causing a screeching noise and confusing the raptors.
No. Called for help.
Alan then starts squawking into the modulator, sounding like a raptor distress call. I don't know if it worked or not, as the raptor also notices the sound of a helicopter flying up above. It's like, they don't notice that, but the raptor does. Later on, they're like, a helicopter! It's like, but you see the raptors like, they can hear it already.
Like, what is it? They come back again.
So I don't know if it really believes the distress call or just like, we can't take the risk. The raptors grab the eggs by putting them in their mouths. I think it looks funny seeing the raptors with eggs in their mouths. It makes it look like they're smiling.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy little face.
The raptors run off into the forest. The group now hears the helicopter and runs towards it. They get to the beach to see a man with a bullhorn yelling, Dr. Grant! Dr. Grant! Dr. Grant!
It's just like, oh my God.
Here we go again. Amanda's like, stop! That's a very bad idea.
Is it Amanda?
It is, Amanda. You've learned a lesson there.
She knows.
Suddenly, some water tanks roll up and soldiers come storming out onto the beach.
Wow. You have to thank her now. She sent the Navy and the Marines.
God bless you, Ellie. I'm guessing Ellie's husband, Mark, used his connections at the State Department. That's what we've got here. It's the only theory I've got. The group get into a helicopter. The rescuers mention they have another survivor on board. It's Billy. He's messed up, but alive. I'm guessing test audiences didn't like Billy dying, so they added him in during reshoots. It's my guess, because I reckon he's supposed to die.
Yeah, I reckon he was supposed to die as like a retribution thing.
Yeah, I reckon test audience would have been like, Billy shouldn't have died because he didn't really do much wrong and he was just trying to be nice. So I know good people can die in things, but maybe we can bring him back. And they're like, you know what? We can.
Yeah, why not?
So maybe he'll be in the next film. Who knows? But he never is.
Nope. Well, that we know of. You made it.
Yeah.
I rescued your hat.
Well, that's the important thing. I love this line. I don't know why, but it makes me smile every time. Probably my favorite line in the entire film is just, well, that's the important thing.
Well, that's the important thing.
The helicopters take off. Alan dusts off his hat. The helicopter pilots are spooked when they see Tyros flying up alongside the helicopter. But don't worry, they don't attack. They're saving that for Jurassic World Dominion.
Literally when they're trying to take over the food chain. Yeah. Get out of my skies! Just dive bombing them like those birds at the beach.
Like, why doesn't one of the guys in the water tank have a rocket launcher? So,
where do you think they're going?
I don't know. Maybe just looking for new nesting grounds. It's a whole new world for them.
It's a whole new dominion for them.
Don't you dare close your eyes. A shining place I never knew.
Oh, yeah. A whole new world.
The Kirby's have a touching moment, but nobody cares. Cue Jurassic Park.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Just like losers. Dun, dun.
Da 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 da. End of movie. Right, that was fun. Now that we've gone through the film, Matt, let's get to our ratings.
Nobody does it, Bennett.
So now we've done our ratings for Jurassic Park 3, Matt. Let's get to it. For the first category, how entertaining is the film? What have you given it?
I gave it a 4.
Give it a 4?
Tell me another movie that has Sam Neill and dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, exactly. other than any Jurassic Parks, then it's Jurassic Park movie to me. It's great. 4.
I was so close to giving it a 4. I gave it a 3. Just because there's a couple little elements that made me go, it's really entertaining, but it could have done better. So I gave it 3, but I love Jurassic Park movies, all of them. First one's obviously the best, but I've always enjoyed all of them. I could watch these again and again. Some elements to this that are still really good. I think it's well shot. The direction is really good. I think 3 is good for entertainment. How intentional quality is, I'm going at 4. It's tongue-in-cheek and it knows what it's supposed to do. The quality is what ruins this film. I think it's rush job of the script and having no script. Pretty good, so I give it 4.
That's obviously I gave it a 4 as well, just based on the fact that they had so much prepared and then to have that all kind of taken away at the last minute, it's not their fault.
Yeah, they did the best of what they could.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you still have Joe Johnston, who's a top director, and Steven Spielberg, so they still made something decent out of something that could have been absolute tire fest.
Yeah, it could have been horrible. They could have just not put Sam Neill in it or any original actors and just thrown some randoms in there just for a Jurassic Park 3 and then 10 years later brought out.
Tell you what, if they didn't have Sam Neill in this, I'd probably think a lot differently of this film.
Yeah, I would too, actually. Yeah, well, I would too. Who's Billy? Alan sent me. I'll be like, who? Who are you? And then steal the eggs, and I'll be like, yeah, no, Alan didn't pick you at all.
Be glad it came out when it did. It didn't come out when Shia LaBeouf was around, or else he would have been Billy.
Oh, God, he would have been too. Just do it. Take the eggs.
Question 3. How much does it affect the franchise? What have you given up?
1. If they hadn't have revamped the entire image, I see what they've done. I see that there's hints of the new ones, the new Jurassic Park in this with the... I get the Spinosaurus, but I kind of see that they've almost like, oh, we've genetically mutated this, and then they've made the Spinosaurus, and then it's just killed everyone on the island. It's kind of what it seems, in a way. But then, yeah, it destroyed it. Yeah, destroyed it.
I've given it a 2 because I think Lost World Jurassic Park, the fact that it made 600 million compared to 1 billion, and it was starting to go down in that downward trend. I don't think Jurassic Park 3 is the sole reason they stopped making them. I think they saw the trend happening. So like with Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. So I gave it 2 out of 5 rather than 1, just because it's not solely its fault. For quality of casting, Matt, I've given it 3 out of 5. I think Alan Grant is great. Sam Neill is Alan Grant. But Sam Neill, of course, we're biased, being New Zealanders, but even if I wasn't a New Zealander, I think he is the reason that this movie works at all. He's grounded.
He's passionate about his paleontology side of his role too.
Yeah, and every scene he's in, you want to watch him. I think the second best person in this movie actually is Eric. I think Eric is actually not bad.
He was actually quite a good character.
For them alone, I've given it 3 out of 5. Roy Macy's great in other things. I don't think he's great in this. Tia Leone's great in Bad Boys, but not so good in this. So that's why I give it 3 out of 5. What have you given it, sir?
I've also given it a 3 out of 5. I don't think it would have been the same without, Leone or Neil. It just wouldn't have been. Would have been cool to see Mr. Ian Malcolm maybe pop up Mr. Gold, but yeah, no, that was all good. It was good. Yeah, I actually liked Eric's character. Yeah. It built off from a lot being 8 weeks in the jungle. You could kind of almost see that from the character.
You say Leone, do you mean Ellie?
Yes, Ellie, that's it.
Because I was saying, oh, you like the Amanda Kirby. All right.
Yeah, true. Wait, what? Yeah.
So Ellie, yeah, no. I wish she was more in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't mark her down as part of the cast, because she wasn't really there that much.
No, it was like a phone call in 5 minutes at the start.
Yeah. It was a tease, it was.
Either leave your love interest in the movie, Alan, or don't.
I think I did it for marketing purposes. Like, look, she's in it, but she's not really in it.
And if you need help, call the government.
Call me, I'll send water tanks.
Yeah.
So, for number 5, would you watch it again? Matt, what have you given it?
I gave it a 5.
Give it a 5?
Yeah, always. I'll always watch it.
I give it a 4 because I am very high as well on it that I'll watch it again. But I'll watch Lost World and I'll watch Jurassic Park before it. Like, if it gave me the option, that's why I give it 4, because it's not one I'd watch straight away. Be the next one I watch. If I was going to watch Jurassic Park movie, I'd probably watch one of the first 2. Or maybe World as well.
Yeah, I actually liked World.
Right, so we've done our totals now, Matt. So let's go through what we've done. For how entertaining the film is, you gave it 4 and I gave it 3. For how intentional the quality is, you gave it 4 and I gave it 4. For how much does it affect the franchise, you gave it 1 and I gave it 2. For quality of casting, you've given it 3 and I gave it 3. And would you watch it again? You gave it 5 and I gave it 4. Gave you a grand total of 17 and me a grand total of 16. So 17 out of 25 and 16 out of 25, which comes to a grand total of 33 out of 50 stars. That is actually pretty good for worst of the worst.
It is. That's right.
Part of worst of the worst is to show you that some films aren't as bad as what they should be. Well, in our opinion, because some other people will go, it was trash, it was 1 out of 5 at best. Well, you can think that and fine, awesome, but I enjoy watching this. Hope there's other people out there enjoy watching Jurassic Park 3 and go, you know what? It's okay to like it.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you've rewatched it from this and you're going, actually, yeah, it isn't too bad.
So I got 33 out of 50 stars. It's now at the bottom of the worst charts. It's actually beaten Batman and Robin.
Oh, God.
Batman and Robin had 32 out of 50 stars, and it was lowest, which is the best you can be in worst of the worst, because the higher up, the worse you are. So it had 32 stars, and now Jurassic Park 3 has 33. So Jurassic Park 3 is now in 7th place on the worst of the worst chart with 33. Looking at what is the worst of the worst, Mortal Kombat Annihilation so far is on number 1 with 15.5 stars out of 50.
Oh my God.
Alien Resurrection is second with 24 out of 50 stars.
Oh, Resurrection, what was that?
That was the one when Sigourney Weaver gets cloned and she comes back, and it's not...
She's in that little... that was a bit
Winona Ryder.
A bit creepy in some of those parts.
Yeah, it wasn't...
Living in like that junk. Yeah.
Number 3 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Rise of Electro, which we did. we gave it 26 out of 50 stars. For X-Men Origins Wolverine, 27 out of 50 stars. That's in 4th place. Fifth place is Escape from LA, which was 30 out of 50 stars. That was fun.
That was fun.
But yeah, Batman and Robin number 6 at 32, and Jurassic Park 3 now at number 7th and 33 points. It makes it an underappreciated gem.
Yeah.
If it gets 10 stars, which is the worst you can get, it's truly the worst of the worst. 11 to 20 is a stinker. 21 to 30 is not that bad, but not that good. 31 out of 39 is an underappreciated gem. And 40 to 50, if you get in that score, it doesn't belong on this list and will get transferred onto the MRU list.
Yeah, have you got anything that's been 40?
Nothing has got 40 yet. Because the closest we are now is Jurassic Park 3 at 33. It's getting close to that, though. I changed a few of the names because it used to be 11 to 20 used to be not a great film, but I changed it to a stinker. And 21 to 30 used to be it's alright. I think it's okay film, but I put it's not harsh enough. So I said not that bad, but not that good. I think it fits it better. So like you look at Amazing Spider-Man 2, Rise of Electro. It's not that bad, but it's not that good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah,
Escape from
so
LA.
much more potential for that.
Yeah, Escape from LA was just on the border of not that bad, not that good, and underappreciated gem. But unfortunately, got 30, and you had to get 31 points or 31 stars to get onto the underappreciated gem.
Sorry, Pliskin.
Sorry, Pliskin.
Shouldn't have fired those dummy bullets and made the whole movie kind of dumb.
So 33 out of 50 stars for Jurassic Park 3, which I'm happy about because I'm a fan of it. Obviously, there's people out there that will think differently, and they can write into us if they like.
Wouldn't have given it any stars.
It's completely terrible. It's fine, but has dinosaurs, has Alan Grant. It's still shot beautifully. Has some amazing music still. I think some music stuff is really, really good.
May not have had a big glass orb that 2 kids get trapped in and chased, but...
Yeah. But, you know, there's bad things and good things. If you like what you hear and have some recommendations for movies, or perhaps you have some thoughts on Jurassic Park 3, why not contact us? You can by going to our Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page, or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com, or go to our website at nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. That's a Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast outlets. You can also find us on YouTube. Now that we have gone through our ratings, Matt, do you have anything you'd like to do to improve Jurassic Park 3?
If they didn't have 10 scenes at the start and they built up the story a little bit slower and then had that fight with the Spinosaurus at the end and that cage bit with the T-Rex, that would have been cool.
So replace the Spino with the T-Rex?
No, keep that at the end, but keep their fight and put that at the end. And have that with them on the crane, like, and then have him, like, I don't know, kill the T-Rex or something, and then have Kirby do what he did to stop that.
It's interesting you say that the starting of it is not enough, because you compare it was like, I think they're about 17 minutes and they're actually landed on the island already and they're about to fight dinosaurs, or about to run for dinosaurs. You look at the first Jurassic Park, it took about 45 minutes to 50 minutes before anything actually ever happened.
Even the second one, it took them building the stuff, talking to people. It showed him inside that, you're going to have to stay here for 2 weeks. Ian Malcolm's like, you can't be here, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And then they went to the island. And then it wasn't even the first scene where they saw dinosaurs. It took them walking through the jungle to being like, oh, crap.
It takes about 35 minutes and then you get to the Stegos. Yeah, it's a lot of build-up. You understand what's happening before you go on. This one is like, oh, here's Alan Grant. Whoop.
Yeah, and it was a more close-up with the dinosaurs, not this, they're just monsters who are just going to kill us at every turn.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to know exactly how much it's affected Alan and Ellie more about Jurassic Park. Like, I don't think you get enough how much he doesn't want to go back. Like, if he'd been a psychiatrist's office talking about the horrors of Jurassic Park and what it does to his everyday life.
It would be pretty bad, though, especially when they've been in San Diego. Don't want to talk about it, don't bring it up, because he would have had enough of it.
You could have had him sleeping and waking up with nightmares, like kind of like the Alan talking raptor, but have nightmares of the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, reoccurring. He probably does, yeah.
Yeah, so then when he goes back to the island, you're kind of like, holy crap, they've just taken this guy that really is psychologically damaged from this place, and you want to put him back there because you didn't think of the consequences.
It was basically like that too, because as soon as he saw the animals, he was like, oh, I'd almost forgotten, because he just would have been so traumatized from that whole time.
Yeah, and now he's back to fight a bigger dinosaur.
Because the only other time I remember that happening with the appreciation was when they woke up in that tree before it snotted all over the kids.
I think you're right, like adding this an extra 10-15 minutes more at the start Could have been interesting.
It was too cut. It was like, we're here, now we're here, now we're here, now these guys blowing this up, now they're meeting them at a restaurant, now they're getting on a plane, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and having the T-Rex fight at the end, you could have it as Rex is more the hero again, like at the end of mirroring the first Jurassic Park where the raptors attack T-Rex and they get away. Yeah. You could have done the same thing. Maybe the Spino could hurt the Tyrannosaurus early on, and then it runs away, and then comes back at the end, and you see like a cut or something to show that's the same T-Rex, and it's tracked it down.
Oh, that'd be cool, and it just takes it off the side.
Yeah, no, it would be cool. I've got a few points of interest or points of improvement. First point is have Alan and Ellie still as a couple.
I'd never got that. No. Never got that. I don't know why they bothered to separate it. Was it an age issue at the time?
I don't think it was.
Like they were only a couple of years. It wasn't like a big...
I think they did it because they couldn't have Ellie on the island, and she would have gone with them if she was a couple.
True.
I think that's why they couldn't have her for shooting. She was doing something else. So they had to find a way to have her in there, but not have her on the island, I guess.
Yeah,
that is why I think they did that, but still have them as a couple. They were great in the first Jurassic Park. Splitting them up didn't work for me. Number 2 is have more Ellie in the movie. Again, I think she couldn't do it for shooting purposes, but if not on the island, more involved somehow. Like she could be, like Ellen could somehow get a message to her, and it could take her half the movie to actually get anyone to help them. You could show her doing this, like trying to get going to government agencies or something.
She could have too. Yeah, I need this. I need help. You know, I'm not asking my husband, and then the last minute it's like
just more of her. But like, I guess some people might say it takes away from the island parts, but it would just be cool to have more Ellie.
Yeah, true. It would have been.
Number 3 would be make Amanda and Paul more likable.
Yeah, they just kind of annoyed me when we found out they were con artists. It was just like, why would you still bother?
But yes, their motivations were to save their son, but essentially kidnapping Alan and Billy and putting them in life-threatening danger doesn't make me wish for a redemption arc later.
Yeah, and it still took Alan to save them.
Yeah. Tia Leone and William H. Macy did what they could, but I was not a fan of them. Yeah, so that's my 3 points, but I like your points about the start of the movie and also the T-Rex and the spine at the end. Could have been a very different kind of film too.
Yeah, it would have felt so different that they would have just had this giant ensued battle and watched this whole happen, flames everywhere.
Oh.
They're escaping through the cage, almost like the first fight, but more intense. And then after that, they're like, oh my God, we made it.
Right, Matt, do you have any final thoughts about Jurassic Park 3?
Loved it. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we got 33 out of 50, actually.
I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I am too, yeah.
I think the other ones, obviously, Jurassic Park is 50 out of 50 possible stars on the MIU list, but it is for a reason because it's amazing. This isn't bad. So when you compare something that's a masterpiece compared to something that's not bad, it shouldn't be that much different.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I agree with that.
Jurassic Park 3 has its flaws and does not measure up to the masterpiece that is Jurassic Park. But the movie is still a fun adventure that I've returned to time and time again. The direction is pretty good with some real nice shots, and the CGI, although a step down from previous films, is still good enough. I thought some of the dialogue was also pretty decent with some great lines thrown in like, "This is how you make dinosaurs." "No, this is how you play guard."
Yeah, he had great lines.
Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions, and the one I put here.
That was a good, and the one where he says, "You're just as bad as the people that built this place."
Yeah, and I've also, of course, my favourite line, "I rescued your hat." Well, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
So for me, Jurassic Park 3 is a worthy entry in the Jurassic series. If you come in not expecting the quality and polish of the first Jurassic Park, you enjoy it. But if you go in thinking it's going to be at the same level as that, then that's when you get disappointed. Expectations. Yeah. Measure them at the door, and maybe you'll enjoy it. Matt, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed your time on Isla Sorna.
Always, sir.
And thank you for listening. Remember, some others may do it better, but nobody does it Bennett. Take care.
It's the end of the show, and now it's time to go. Don't be sad, just be glad that nobody does it Bennett.